Hello and welcome to Bounding into Comics. My name is John Trent. I'm the editor-in-chief at Bounding into Comics, and I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Spencer Bakuli and Donald Edmonds. And tonight we have special guest, author Stephen Walton. How are you guys all doing tonight?
Doing well, brother.
Awesome.
Doing well, as always.
Fantastic.
That's good to hear. I see we have a bunch of folks in the chat already. Looks like Lopter, Demon King of Inferno, and Mark Lasurth have been having a nice conversation as we got ready for showtime. I also see Father Christopher Miller is here. Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate that. Deviant Porg is here as well. So thank you all for joining. We really do appreciate that. We are going to start the show like we always do, going around the horn, talking about what we have been watching, reading, playing, or overall just kind of enjoying over the past week. So we will start off with Spencer. Oh, he's coming on screen to talk.
I'm coming on cam for this one.
Appearance outside of Anime Rewind. We get to see Spencer.
I felt out of place. All right, so let's see. This week, I've been continuing my way along DC events, and unfortunately, I'm not as hyped on them as I was last week. I started reading The Infected, which is the storyline where the Batman who laughs infects a couple heroes with dark multiverse stuff, and they turn evil. And it's all right. It's kind of just the same thing we've seen a bunch before. I have now that Three Jokers is done, I'm probably going to crack that open tonight and see if it's any good. I've seen not great things about it. But aside from that, what have I been doing? More Rent-A-Girlfriend, still making my way through that. Checking out a lot of horror anime for our list that John and I just put together today. In particular, last night when I was writing, I was watching Perfect Blue, which everybody should go watch. And aside from that, just really chugging along on the site.
I'm going to interject there. If you haven't already, definitely go check out our top 10 horror anime list that we just published about an hour ago. So do that after the stream tonight, maybe tomorrow. Put it onto your list. It's really good stuff.
Definitely worth it. Anybody, there's something on that list for anybody, as long as you want to be scared. So
give it a look. In the Halloween season. It'll get you in the Halloween season for sure.
But yeah, that's all I've got going on. Just more DC, more crossovers. No Marvel. Can't even stand to look at it. Where is my New Warriors, by the way?
Not coming out.
Oh, you need a safe space.
Oh, I do need a safe space. I'm a snowflake who needs his safe space.
I do see we have some folks telling us what they've also been checking out. We do encourage you guys to do that. Tell us what you're watching. Yeah. Give us recommendations. We love to see that. I see that Father Christopher Miller said he just read Batman White Knight's Harley Quinn #1 and loved it.
Nice.
I read the first Batman White Knight, was really good. Really enjoyed it. I haven't picked up the second one yet, and I haven't read any of the spin-off stuff yet. So that might be something that I go back and get a collected edition of. But I mean, my reading is just kind of it's non-existent right now, at least. But yeah, no, I'll definitely have to check that out. That'll be something to put on my list because I did enjoy the first Batman White Knight book. It was pretty good.
I like Sean Gordon Murphy. He's pretty good at writing.
Yeah, his art is fantastic. I have Tokyo. Where is it? Tokyo Ghost right here.
Oh yeah.
By Rick Remender and Murphy. Oh, it's so gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really good.
Nice.
Really good.
I mean, you get Remender on that too. Oof.
Yeah.
That's the team you want.
Yeah, Father Christopher Miller is saying, I recommend the whole White Knight series. Got the first run and then the sequel, and now the Harley Quinn isn't too bad. So there were, if I remember, in the first White Knight, there were 2 Harley Quinns. So I don't know. I don't remember. I think there were still 2 at the end. I think they both survived. Well, one was like trying to pose as Harley Quinn.
Yeah, one was like Harley Quinn 2.
Yeah. So I have Father Christopher Miller have to let us know if that is kind of, if that's exploring the 2 Harley Quinns there. Deviant Porg is saying, he's saying good list for horror animes. Thank you, Deviant Porg.
Yeah, thanks, Porg.
Spencer did a great job. I will definitely have to check some of those out. Perfect Blue you're recommending, that one was the one that probably caught my eye the most. Plus with that one, there's that one image that you sent me with her on the pile of all like the trash
the flowers and stuff, or trash or something. Yeah.
Because there was like a microphone and like the tape recorder. It looked like, but it was like it looked like she was like it looked like it was a flower bed and she had died, but it was like, it was all like stuff that you would have in your house, whatever.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it now. I see it. Yeah, it's a bunch of just like trash, and she's like blending into it.
Lopter is saying he's been reading Throne of Fire. I don't know what is. I don't
never heard of that.
What is Throne of Fire, Lopter? Is that a manga?
It is a book by Rick Riordan.
Yes.
It's
Rick
part
Riordan.
of the Kane Chronicles.
Yes, that's the best stuff. That's when they're talking about the Romans, right? I think I've read that. The Kane Chronicles where they're the Roman. It's the Roman mythology, whereas the other one is the lightning thief stuff, and that's the Greek mythology. The Roman stuff is I thought was way better, especially when they fight. I think it leads up to a fight, but then I kind of stopped reading. But I did like the first couple books in that series, the Roman side, more than the lightning thief side. Mark Lerseth, I'm gonna pronounce his name right now that I knew that I was pronouncing it wrong all this time. He says he's rewatching Haunting of Hill House after watching Bly Manor. Is it any good, Mark?
I've seen Hill House. Hill House is really good. I haven't started Manor yet. But
Kane.
Great.
Oh, so Kane Chronicles is Egyptian, so that's new. I haven't read that. The Roman stuff is good though, Lopter. So the Kane Chronicles is Egyptian. Tahillam says he's been watching some Fire Force season 2 and Jujutsu. Am I saying that? Jujutsu Kaisen season 1. Yeah, I've heard a lot of hype on Jujutsu Kaisen, and that was also included on Spencer's list.
It is there.
We're giving away the list, so
I know, right?
we need to stop doing that.
Sneak preview.
What else here do we have? I thought I saw some other stuff here. Deviant Porg is saying he's been reading the manga as well. Toxic Manflu is saying the only thing that scares me is making my wife angry.
Understandable.
How can you be toxic all the time then if you're not making her angry? It's not very toxic of you.
When he's not toxic, that's when it makes her angry. Flip it on its head.
Lofter's also saying he's been playing Monster Legends. I've gotten Yindra and Blockhart, and Nikasi have been playing Skyrim. Okay, I think I'm all caught up now. I do see we have some more folks that have joined the chat. Tina Bojan, good evening, friends. Good evening to you, Tina. Thank you for joining us. I see Brutal Morningwood. I prefer my coffee. Thank you very much. Hello, Brutal. Midnight's Edge After Dark. Tom, how's it going? What did Jeremy Conrad do? Well, he expressed some political opinions that the Twitter mob didn't like.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Yeah, that'll probably be late, so you might have to watch on replay. That might be our last story that we'll get to. Mark63366 was wondering where you were. Glad to see you in the chat. And then Dread Pirate Mikey is here as well. Hail. So we will move on to Don. How far have you gotten in Dune?
I haven't gotten anywhere in Dune.
But last week you said you started a new book. So
okay, so I am actually halfway through The New Spring by Robert Jordan.
It's only 20 pages long.
Listen, no, it is not more. It's about 318 pages. Okay, I am a good 178 in.
Is that with the extra large print?
No.
So the pages are. It's really only 150 pages.
Whatever. Anyway, so okay. I think I was talking about this earlier. I can read printed material. I can read physical, material better than I can any kind of digital material. I'm reading Dune on a tablet, which is a big problem. And then I don't know. I just like the feel of pages better.
Oh no!
You know when you get the digital comic and it just doesn't feel right.
Well, the art is.
You get the pages of a comic and you're like, oh my god, the smell, the feel.
Oh my god,
the
these 2 pages are great, and now here's 4 pages of ads for Spider-Man fruit roll-ups.
Listen, those freaking
That's not even a dig on. It's just a dig on how many ads are in the books nowadays when they charge you.
Gotta make their money somehow. How do you think Stan made his money?
somehow.
Freaking, you know those like ads they had back in the day on the comic book pages.
But at least those ones I could get like X-ray glasses or Hostess pies.
But no, there's something better about having the feel of the comic book or the actual physical media in your hands and reading from it.
Absolutely, 100%.
Plus,
It also can't be altered.
Sci-fi versus like MIDI setting, kind of high magic, just way better for me.
Nice.
Oh yeah, totally. I love that. That's my favorite stuff to read. Is that like medieval high fantasy setting, Wheel of Time, Dragonlance, Book of the Fallen of the Malazan Empire, Game of Thrones, I guess to an extent, although like I got bored with it after like book 4. And then I have Lord of the Rings, but I actually haven't read all Lord of the Rings. I have read all the Hobbit, and I tried to get into the Silmarillion, but it was way too dense for me.
Yeah, Silmarillion
Silmarillion
is
like,
very dense. That's the best word for it.
So I was struggling to get
Silmarillion's
through
like
that.
reading the dictionary.
For fun.
Yeah, it's dense. It's dense. Mark 63366 says I've been watching Baki on Netflix. Yes,
Yeah.
that was a recommendation that we've had here
great.
before. Baki is fantastic. If you want another fighting show,
Hajime no
that
Ippo.
Yes, Hajime no Ippo too, but I know what John's about to recommend.
Yeah, I'm blanking on the name right now though, so I'm gonna need some help.
Megalobox?
Yeah, Megalobox. Yeah, definitely check that out. It's on Netflix as well. Absolutely fantastic. What is it, like 10, 12 episodes, I think?
Yeah, something short like that. I think 12.
Yeah, so I definitely recommend that one. Good. So this is what Mark says. I've been watching Baki on Netflix. Good show. It is a fight series that concentrates on the hype about the fighters. It is very fun. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, there's hype about I guess there's hype about the fighters.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning, they really focus on each of their physical prowesses, what they've kind of accomplished, why they're locked up in the prisons that they're locked up in, why they're going to be a massive threat to Baki. So yeah, it definitely does that. So you know that they already have this like huge resume, and Baki's up against some tough competition. Anything else that you've been doing, Don?
Playing Diablo.
Dang, throwing it back.
Yeah, that's always fun. Tahillim says, also been checking out season 2 of Umbrella Academy. I'll be honest, I didn't even finish season 1. I think I got to like episode 7 or 6, I think, and I just didn't finish it. It's I did like 5. Who's the kid? I think his number's 5. I think.
The time traveling one.
Yeah, the time travel kid.
Yeah,
His performance is
him.
just impeccable.
He's
he was great.
He's a great
He was
little actor.
Yeah, it was fantastic. He made the show, honestly.
Yeah.
So when he wasn't on screen, it was like, okay. But he was there. It's like, oh, this is interesting. What's happening? What's he up to? Like, there's a lot of mystery around him. All right. Let's move on to our guest, Stephen Walton. What have you been up to?
Well, as far as watching I haven't had time to read anything because I've been writing. But as far as watching things, my son has been introducing me to some things that I've missed. I actually just started watching Naruto, so that's that's my new thing. I know. I never got into it.
19 years.
Yeah, he's going through that with me, and I'm watching another series called Attack on Titan. And what I have found out is that exposition just kills me on that show. I like the animation, I like the concept, but you know what I mean. Like, look, at some point we need to get to the action and get past all the talking. Tired of rehashing things over and over again. But I guess this is a theme because Naruto does that too. I'm going to start getting into some more shows with him, so I'm looking forward to that. I've also been working on the Fandom Menace Volume 2, Rise of the Rebellion. For those of you who missed the Fandom Menace Volume 1, it was basically a preface to everything that has happened in entertainments since before 2018. I go through things like Gamergate, Comicsgate, a lot of what has been happening with the infestation of a certain type of ideology into our entertainments. Not only that, but into the journalistic, into journalism, where you have these tiers of misinformation that protect one another, from the shills to the access to the mainstream media, where privileged millionaires are allowed to espouse bigotry, division, and hate, while at the same time pointing the finger at you and saying you're a racist and a misogynist and a bigot. They've been doing this for years. And then my question to you in the audience and anybody watching this, further on, is: Are you happy? Or have you been happy with the entertainments you have been receiving? Are you happy that your modern mythologies, things that you have supported, some of us for many generations, are now being used as platforms to espouse rhetoric, division, to place you in a category, to keep you in a checkbox? Not only that, but to separate everyone. And you got to stay in your lane, because if you move outside your checkbox and speak upon someone else, you will be canceled. The Fandom Menace volumes are about the confrontation against cancel culture. It is a group of fans, people of several different genres, not just Star Wars, not just Star Trek, not just science fiction, but people standing up and refusing to capitulate to divisive ideology, refusing to be mislabeled by a toxic minority on Twitter, backed by privileged millionaires, whose only concern is dividing us. They try and create their own things. Those things don't sell. They just don't sell. So what they do is they appropriate things that we love: games, comics, television, movies, things that have been proven to have a loyal fan base that has supported them, customers who have supported these franchises for sometimes several generations, as I said, and then use them as platforms. Not only that, but scold you, the customer, scold people who have supported things like Star Wars for many decades because you don't fit their narrative. Instead of moving toward a world where everyone is accepted and equal, instead of moving toward a place where there is liberty for all, these fringe ideologues have come out of the ether, placed themselves in several places in the media and entertainments with the sole intent of shaming you into capitulating, kneeling to their divisive rhetoric and ideology. I am documenting a counterculture that stands against this. It is a counterculture of many different backgrounds, political persuasions, sexualities, parts of the world, internationally, standing up, common sense people, and saying, we will not bow to this social terrorism. Please help me fight this rhetoric by supporting the Fandom Menace Volume 2, Rise of the Rebellion. In this, I go through the year of 2018, after the backlash from The Last Jedi. I'm going to be covering things like Solo. I'm going to be covering different people like Jason Ward, Brian Young, Kathleen Kennedy's woke hires. I'm also going to be covering some people, some independent creators who stood up for us, who stood up in defense of the fandoms. People like The Gospel According to Mark with a C. People like Mecha Random 42. I also have some wonderful contributors helping lend their own voice into this work. People like Stephanie Janicek, Smuggler's Cantina. Jesse Milestone of Mindless Entertainment. Ichi Baka of Disney Star Wars. I'm very proud to have Ichi Baka contributing a chapter to this book. And the Overlord himself, Dictor Van Doomcock, will be speaking out against the misuse of Star Trek in Star Trek Discovery. I'm looking forward to presenting this material to you, the hypocrisy. There will be actual quotes. I will take you step by step. I don't believe that we should allow the access media, the shills, the mainstream, the blue check marks on Twitter, and the privileged millionaires who support them to be the only ones who have a voice speaking out against this rhetoric. This is one of the reasons why on almost every single one of my shows, I use a Bounding into Comics article, because they do not kneel. And I want to speak out and stand with my brothers, my fellow writers out there, and that is why I am presenting the Fandom Menace volumes. These will be here forever. Those blue check marks, those millionaires, those idiots on Twitter, they're only here, they're only spreading their rhetoric now, but this will be around forever, setting the record straight, standing up for we, the fans, who refuse to kneel, to capitulate to their divisive rhetoric and ideology. We stand together. And what we independent creators, we don't have an industry to support us. We only have one another. So even if it's not mine, even if you're not interested in buying this book, please share it out to someone who might. And please, if it's not my book and you don't feel like sharing it, you don't believe in what I'm doing, there is a ton of independent creators in the indie sphere who could use your help. As I said, we don't have an industry to support us. We only have each other, and we rise together. And together, we will refuse to kneel. Hail the fandoms. Thank you.
Hear, hear, hail.
Hail.
Hell yeah.
And you know what? His book will actually get delivered and come out, unlike New Warriors. So,
Yeah, so that was supposed to be it was supposed to come out in like
First,
April, right?
First,
And
it was
then in the
April.
first
Was
issue?
like the first issue.
Yeah.
Then it disappeared, and then it popped up on Amazon as a trade, and it said October 27th. And yesterday came and went, and as Dawn showed me, like that day, they just switched the thing to say it was out of stock,
Poor
and
Kibble
Yeah.
Smith.
nobody knows where it is.
Poor Kibble
Yeah.
Smith. I feel bad for him.
I don't.
But he's
Trying to
so,
get a New York police officer canceled.
yeah, I
so-
know he's so
Oh
brave.
my
How
God.
can you be so sorry for him? He's so brave.
I'm not
Oh,
sorry
and
for him at
stunning.
all.
Stunning.
Dude, he's making tons of money being a writer for Stephen Colbert.
He's a writer for Colt. That explains
He's rich.
He is.
900%.
Privileged millionaires completely disconnected from the working class who do not work in around the industries that we work. They don't see how people work together. I live in a very diverse community. I work, live, and talk with people from different persuasions all the time. We don't hear any of this Twitter rhetoric. We don't hear any of this Hollywood rhetoric. We're working together to better ourselves in our community. Are there strifes? Yes, and we rise together. We confront them when we need to. These privileged millionaires in Hollywood and the access media, these privileged idiots that are working in comics, all of them shamed themselves into being hired only because they still resonate the echo chamber of the wealthy elite. These people have no idea. All this rhetoric that they spout, they have no idea what we're going through. They have no idea the trials and tribulations of the working class, of the poor, of mothers and fathers who are single, who have to find a way to balance watching their kids and going to work. They don't know about this. We don't want to hear about who you're sleeping with. We don't hear about your pansexuality. We don't want to hear about none of your gobbledygook nonsense. That shit don't matter. What matters is people trying to live their lives. What matters is us rising together. And that's why I'm fighting these privileged millionaires. I ain't having it. Sorry, I almost cursed. My bad. I'm sorry, Father. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All is forgiven.
But yeah. I mean, they're going after working class people. With Kibble Smith, we covered that. Was that Monday? Might have been yesterday, where he was threatening violence against a New York police officer who decided to say Trump 2020 on his patrol car.
Yeah.
And then you had the police commissioner like condemning the police officer, and then the union is like, dude, you literally use the police as political tools all the time. Like, why wouldn't you be allowed to say that? It's not like they were like saying that it's not the military. So I'm sure there'll be a lawsuit over that or whatever happens there. But yeah, so these people are. I think there was something else. I was going to cover it. I was trying to get. There's so much stuff that I didn't get to today. But I was going to cover this other story. I might do it tomorrow, but you guys will get a sneak peek. So let me just bring it up here.
Cool.
We'll see. I might not get to it tomorrow either. There's so much to get to tomorrow. There's like a Jackie Chan story.
Yeah, there's a lot. We've got a lot on our plates.
Oh, she deleted it.
Archive?
Wait, I didn't archive it. Oh no, it's still here. Okay, never mind.
There we go.
All right. So our favorite senior editor at Valiant Comics.
Oh gosh.
Making more comments about America. So can you see?
Great. Oh, of course.
Oh, it's going to be a great quote. Yeah.
Heather, stop.
Yeah. So I mean, anyone who calls themselves a Republican after this year is about as un-American as one can be. I mean, this is the senior editor of Valiant Comics, where their heroes are supposed to be are primarily Americans.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is just the rhetoric you get from these people. She used to work at Marvel Comics. She worked at Valiant. She tried to do a stint at some esports company. Seemingly didn't pan out. And I think she got senior editor at Valiant by attrition, basically. But Valiant is nowhere near where it used to be. Valiant used to be Valiant Comics was putting out some of the best comics back in like 2015.
Yeah, they were doing great.
2016. Their universe was fantastic.
I loved the Exo Manowar reboot. Ninjak was fantastic. Quantum and Woody's always good.
They had great creators, and even Keanu Reeves recognizes that they had great creators because he's collaborating with what is his name on Berserk, because he did Divinity, and then he did
Matt Kint.
Yeah, Matt Kint. He did Divinity, which
and then Guardy's the artist.
Yeah, well, Divinity's a great run that Valiant did, and then he did the second Exo Manowar after Venditti's run was over, And then what else did he do? He did some other things as well that were I think he was part of some of the crossover stuff. But all his stuff is usually pretty good. And yeah, Keanu Reeves is working with him on Berserker, but he's no longer working at Valiant. They basically ran out all of their good talent, and I don't think anyone's reading their stuff anymore.
That's what they do. I covered that in volume 1, my chapter on my Comicsgate. These people infect industries and then press the talent out only because they think different or they vote different. It's not about creativity. It's not about bringing together a good story. It's not about respecting the customer. God forbid you respect the consumer. It is about driving an ideology. And these people will drive these companies into the ground. They don't care about financial viability. They're trying to destroy yours. That's the last thing on their mind. People like Heather Antos, they have an ideology to press. They're going to shame you. They're going to shame you and try and make you capitulate to their ideology. Meanwhile, destroying the financial viability of any platform that hires people like that. These are terribly divisive people. It shouldn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat or a centrist or Green Party or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you're common sense, as long as you have a good heart, right? I mean, I know that I don't think that just because someone votes for a specific candidate that they have the bad interests of my country in their mind, in their hearts. All right, some of them do, but I just don't think that. This is why we need to have our modern mythologies. This is why we need to have this cohesion within our fandoms. It shouldn't matter if you carry a hashtag. It shouldn't matter if you are voting one way or voting another. What matters is, do you love these properties? Do you love these stories? What else brings us together at the water cooler? People from different backgrounds, different political persuasions, and all these different religions, everything. What brings us together than that kind of commonality? Than our love for a fandom. People like Heather that are driving people away. Those are the
for real.
ones. Yeah, that's what I'm standing up against. I'm not having it anymore.
Yeah, we are too. I think it's kind of I said we were going to do this towards the end, but I think we're kind of already on it. So we'll just continue with this. This will be our
of cancel
story.
culture.
So Jeremy Conrad, he's the editor-in-chief founder at MCU Cosmic. He also ran Star Wars Unity and DCEU Mythic. He posted a blog post to his Manabyte blog saying that he was quitting all 3 of the websites after he was targeted by the internet mob. So he used some I use a lot of Chris Pratt images in this article because Chris Pratt was just recently targeted by the internet mob.
Well, he was kind of defending Chris Pratt too, right? In one of his tweets.
Oh no! He didn't defend Chris Pratt.
I don't know. I don't know. He might have. I didn't see that. The ones they were attacking for, I didn't see that. He might have been though.
That whole Chris Pratt thing. I just for a sec that really pisses me off. That really pisses me off because I don't try not to talk too much about my own belief system all too much, but I was a young pagan man. All right, I'm a Wiccan. All right, I got a different way of thinking about things. I remember going through religious discrimination when I was growing up. I've been beat up by people because I'm a devil worshiper. I don't even believe in the damn devil. I have gone through this. Now in today's age, when I was fighting for acceptance and I was fighting for equality then, now in today's age, Christians are getting canceled. I don't want to see the pendulum swing to the other extreme. I don't want that. So this whole thing, I stand with Chris Pratt. That's bullshit. Just for being a person of faith, the faith doesn't matter. Your heart, how you project that faith matters. And I've never seen him be anything but a good dude. Yeah, I mean, so the Pratt thing was kind of a twofold thing because you had people going after him for not attending some Joe Biden virtual fundraiser.
Voters assemble,
which he wasn't even invited to.
I know.
He wasn't even invited to it, but people were trying to cancel him over that. And then, so that was kind of the big thing. And then they started to try and hide why they were really trying to cancel him with that meme, which Chris is to go. So then they put the meme out to try and hide that. And then people were just crapping on him because he attends Hillsong. And that's why they want him to be canceled. And then they think that he's a Trump supporter when in reality he donated $2,000 to Tulsi Gabbard, which is public record. Look
it up.
Yeah. So
facts don't matter, John. Facts. Feelings. It's the feelings that matter, not facts.
Yeah. Oh, I think it comes from the fact
Gabbard on the left.
Oh, for sure. But still,
I like her.
I love her.
They're calling her. they were calling him a Trump supporter when he clearly donated money to a Democratic candidate in the primary. But he did. I mean, he has worn a "Don't Tread on Me" T-shirt before, back in 2018, I think. So a couple years ago. So people were trying to go after him with that. And then you had the whole Ellen Page thing, going after him on what was she on, Kimmel or one of those late night.
One
shows.
of those late night ones, yeah.
Yeah. They're all the same now. There's nothing that differentiates them.
Did Chelsea Handler remind him he's white?
Gosh, the audacity!
Sorry.
No, I saw that clip. I was just like, wow. Talk about wow.
Talk about racism.
Yeah. But anyway, so in this blog post posted on his website, Manabyte, Conrad explains that he's actually been trying to get out from running the sites for the past 6 months. He goes on to explain that over the past 2.5 years since he started MCU Cosmic, he's become increasingly frustrated by his critics. He writes, "When I first put up MCU Cosmic 2.5 years ago, I naively thought that people would want to read a site that tried to cut through the endless BS about comic book movies and try to post what was realistically correct. Sure, I got stuff wrong. They do. That's why they're rebounding into comics.
That's why we're here.
Gotta get that plug in. Sure, I got stuff wrong and a lot of stuff correct, but no one acknowledges the latter, and instead will focus on one thing for years just to hammer someone into giving up." Yeah, I agree with him here. He did get some stuff wrong, but he also got a bunch of stuff right too. And most people don't I think that is a problem that we have in our society, is that if you, especially now with the cancel culture, that if you get one thing wrong, the people just hammer you over and over and over about that one thing. There's no forgiveness anymore. It's you've sinned and you can never be forgiven of that sin anymore. It's a tragedy
for people who admit that they did wrong. Oh, I got it wrong. My bad, guys.
Right.
Those people are never forgiven. But the people who are no, I was never wrong. I totally got that. Nobody they leave them alone. They're fine.
Yeah. Some more Chris Pratt there. Conrad then added, "It's extremely frustrating that people hold some sites to an impossible standard while at the same time believing any BS that fits what they want to hear."
Sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It seems right. He then details that his website and social media following put a target on his back, and he is no stranger being a target of the internet mob. He explains these things just escalate more and more. In the last few months, it's honestly become scary the level some anonymous people on the internet will take to destroy someone. Yeah, I mean, some of these people are just, they're just so crazy. Fortunately, I haven't really had to deal with some of the scary elements, and hopefully won't ever have to. And hopefully none of you guys will have to either. But no, I've heard some
my friends have
stories. Yeah,
I've heard Jesse Milestone, Mecha Random, Star Wars. They get some real Mary Mayhem. They get really nasty things.
Yeah, we've covered the stuff that with Mecha for sure. And so we've covered it, and it's pretty awful. I mean, we've covered the stuff with Terry Crews. So it's not just it's celebrities. We were just talking about Chris Pratt. But yeah, Terry Crews. Who else is that I can think of off the top of my head here?
I do remember some in real life stuff that
Shatner.
Oh yeah, Shatner
Peter Samedi.
Yeah, Peter Samedi.
That umbrella guy, they came after him, it's very serious because you have people, and pardon me, I think that a lot of this is playing on people with deep insecurities, maybe based in mental illness, and so they whip these types of crazies up with misinformation, and then these crazies go out and act on this misinformation or this projected isms, and it puts real people in danger. It can hit anyone from the top down. I mean, the more present you are in social media, or the more fame you have, or you definitely have a bigger target on your back. But it can hit any one of us at any time. It just takes one nut job in the right Twitter circle of these people
to the right day, the right moment, just
exactly
spark them off.
I will say, by posting this story, they were going after us a little bit.
They were.
For this story. They were saying we were defending him. I don't see.
By reporting.
I don't see it that way.
I see the report.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, that's the thing is that journalism. Okay, the journo activists. That's what they want. They want journo activists. You've got to spin the story correctly. You can't just give the facts. You can't just give what's going on. Because it's not facts, it's feelings. It's one of the reasons why I read off of Bounding into comics a lot is because I'm not. There's no journo activism. But if you guys aren't kowtowing, you guys aren't bending the knee, and so therefore you're a target. Just like the rest of us.
And I think and I just want to toot our horn in here again, but yeah, I do think we try and keep our opinions out of a lot of this stuff, and it's just pure reporting. I mean, we do try. I think who was it that we had a retweet from someone who was like, what is her name?
Deborah Messing.
Deborah Messing like retweeted us, which I thought was fantastic.
Wow, pretty funny. Yeah.
She thought it was. She probably thought it was her, like leaning her way.
Right.
Doesn't the guy from Sliders follow us?
Who's that? Sliders. Who's
Dean
that?
Cain follows us.
Yeah, Dean Cain follows us.
Gosh, what is his name? He's on the freaking
Jerry
Star
O'Connell?
Trek Lower Decks.
Yeah, Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry O'Connell. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. I think he might. I'm not sure.
Of all the references to make for Jerry O'Connell, he picked Sliders. That's great.
I know he did at one point. I don't know if he's still following us. But yeah, he did at one point.
And
that's not to say we don't have opinion articles. And obviously,
but we label them.
And I obviously do opinion here on YouTube. And then Spencer totally just did a top 10 anime. That's an opinion, right?
That's an opinion.
So yeah, we do have our opinions too, but we do try and keep our reporting. Just what's the story? What's the facts?
Right.
Just the facts, man. Just the facts.
So Conrad writes, so I'll give them what they want. I'll disappear and they can get their information elsewhere. Updates will cease and eventually the sites and content will be deleted, although this blog will remain.
Wow. I'm not exactly going to bend the knee. I'm just going to back out.
I mean, to me, this is just. I mean, I understand there's a lot of stress with this, and this probably isn't his main source of income. I think he does. I think he's talked about this before, where he has he does something else for his main source of income, and this was kind of something he was doing on the side, or it was like a side hustle. So I can get that. I mean, if running the site, if the stress is too much, like probably for your mental health, maybe sometimes you need to get out. So I'm not trying to judge him or anything, but you got to do what you got to do.
I saw the dude at D23, and before that, I thought he was legit, on the Marvel payroll because his website is called MCU Cosmic.
MCU Cosmic.
And and he built that site right when James Gunn was supposed to be heading the Marvel Cosmic side.
Oh, the Cosmic
angle,
angle,
he was like an insider who had all this information on what this world that Marvel was going to be building would look like. But when I met him on the D23 floor, I'm like, dude, the dude is just the same as me. He has the same level of access. He has the same amount of information. It's just not.
How did he do it?
So yeah.
No, yeah, a lot of these they might have some connections, but I mean, Clownfish TV is really good has done a number of videos on how all the access works, and then how a lot of these smaller blogs are actually funded by in part sometimes funded by those companies. So it's possible he might have had some funding from there too, because that does exist, and we've covered the I think. Data Racer, it's still his pinned tweet. He brought that to our attention a couple years ago. The sci-fi people it's over at sci-fi.com literally admitting that they give positive reviews in order to maintain access to movie sets and stuff like that, so they can just have that access to the studios.
The access.
And then you have comicbook.com where they're literally owned by CBS. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see more of that. Sci-Fi is owned by NBC, Universal, Comcast. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see more that other studios start doing that too. I think Disney, Disney does it. They just probably it's more on the DL. Wasn't Disney funding a lot of the Gizmodo stuff? I think they were.
Do you remember? I don't know about Gizmodo, but do you remember when I want to say it was for The Last Jedi, they had they did this thing with mommy bloggers, like
Yeah.
where they like invited a bunch of mommy bloggers to Lucas Ranch to see The Last Jedi, but they only showed like the first 30 minutes just to get that sort of hype going out in the atmosphere or in the like internet sphere. And I thought it was the weirdest possible angle they could have gone for.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, as we've seen what has happened to Star Wars, that totally makes sense now.
True, yeah.
Right. But hindsight's 2020. But yeah, at the time that was very strange. It's like, why are you inviting a bunch of people who probably aren't your target audience to hype your movie? It's because that's who they want to be their target audience.
Which
yeah,
sucks
so
because it's like they're watching Hustlers, they're not watching The Last Jedi. Sorry.
Yeah. So Conrad explains you also won't see me active on Twitter anymore. I get more enjoyment flipping through TikTok anyways. I won't stick around where I'm not winning. Well, I don't know if TikTok will be around very much longer.
Yeah, very much longer.
I think it's only on like life support now because of there was like a stay made by a judge or something.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what happens there. Conrad also stated that he will no longer be updating his podcast. This also means the podcast will be ending. To be perfectly honest, it's become very difficult for me to produce that on time over the last several months due to my real life schedule. I still managed to do it, but I feel the podcast has been suffering due to my lack of time for it. He wrapped up his post stating, "Part of me is depressed at having to end it this way, as the sites have been such a big focus for me since April of 2018. But another part is relieved that I won't have to spend every hour of the day and night focused on that anymore. For those who don't want to see me dead, I know this will be disappointing. I've enjoyed providing you content and insight over the last few years, but it's time to move on." And appropriate, I think. Image here.
For those who do not want me dead, that is awful.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Which means it sounds like he was getting a couple death threats for sure.
Oh yeah.
In either DMs or public. I didn't see any public, but I also didn't like search real hard for them. I kind of focused on how like what he was being attacked with recently. That would kind of do this. So Twitter user Neb153. The evidence from Twitter user Neb53 are a number of screenshots from the video. So they called him a crazy QAnon believing far right Trump supporter. The evidence from Twitter user. So QAnon is something that's been banned on a bunch of social media platforms. So they're trying to label him as QAnon in order to deplatform him and ban him.
They blew their metaphorical insult load by calling everybody Nazis, and then they realized that Chud is dumb. And Chud is the dumbest insult of all time. So now they're going with, what can we use now to deride somebody and paint them as something that they're not? I don't know. It's dumb. It's a tactic.
No, yeah, it's exactly. It's they create new words to attack you with,
or they misappropriate things in order to label you with them. I mean, I'm not a big QAnon. I'm not into all that conspiracy so much, but I don't know. Fighting against the trafficking of certain types of people is something I totally stand against. Who wouldn't?
Right?
Yeah.
Who
wouldn't? Who wouldn't? So number screenshots from the video game forum NeoGAF, where he has commented on the alleged leaks of Hunter Biden's laptop, as well as posts discussing the targeting of Chris Pratt. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, see?
And Joe Biden's comments regarding white supremacy. So I didn't. Hold on, I didn't. I should have. Yeah. So hashtag Hunter Biden didn't kill him. I don't know. I probably should have linked those. But
probably afraid they're gonna get taken down though.
That's for real.
Yeah, that's why I screenshot now. But it's hard when they have multiple photos uploaded. You can't get the whole thing. So Twitter, Batman Can See You would post a screenshot of a number of other forum posts from NeoGAF. Let's see if we can zoom in on these ones.
How is Joe Biden calling anybody a supremacist? Has anybody looked into his record of statements on the floor? Anyone?
They just ignore him.
Whew. It's feelings, not facts. Feelings.
Yeah, that's not working, and now I'm jumping around because I zoomed in and it's
all right. You're screwing up and we're joining.
So there's this other person says Django's Maximoff would attack Conrad as a racist and a sexist. They provided 3 screenshots of Conrad's alleged racism. The first, a tweet of Conrad complaining about a bad experience at a McDonald's where the individual running the drive-thru did not speak English. I think that's a common complaint a lot of people have.
Yeah, that's not new.
This is a majority English-speaking country, and if you can't order your food, you gotta
It's pretty
complain
frustrating.
about it.
Yeah.
If you
really
can't
frustrating.
understand this garbled English, you're racist.
Yeah, so
Guy
I don't
is
think that's
local. What the hell?
yeah. So that's that's not racism. That's just he's
Nope.
he's
He
frustrated.
lives in California.
Yeah.
Just
What's his food?
If I move to France and work at a McDonald's drive-thru, I'm gonna learn French first. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Or I would think that French McDonald's would not have you working
At the drive-thru.
at the-
At the
well, you
speed-
might be working at the drive-thru, but you wouldn't be customer
like
fronting.
taking-
You,
yeah, you wouldn't
will
take the
be in
order.
the back flipping the burgers,
Absolutely.
or like clean like washing the dishes or something like that. The next example is a comment about a Muslim. I misspelled this here. Worker suing Disneyland regarding the company's dress code and claiming they would lose the lawsuit because they knew the dress code beforehand. That
Doesn't
just
sound racist at all.
No.
He's
Company policy.
yeah. Finally, they show a tweet of Conrad asking if Jews can build a synagogue in Mecca if a mosque is built on ground zero in New York City. So these are all like old tweets from like 2011.
I was gonna say this is all like pretty old, right? Like I haven't heard these arguments in a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me neither, bro.
Yeah, so these are all from like 2011, 2012 that they're bringing up. And when he at the time, tons of people were making this argument because that was like a topical thing.
Yeah.
They were trying to build a mosque on
Ground
ground
zero.
zero.
Fast Steven Seagal beat up Trailblazers. Welcome to McDonald's. Would you like some fries and some conspiracy sauce?
I'll take it.
Toxic Man Flu says, "You stupid Americans working in our McDougal's." Nano Reaper says, "If I can't understand you while I'm in the drive-thru, I'm going to be pissed." Yeah, you're trying to order something, and if they have to like repeat it 5 times because there's a communication problem, yeah, you're going to get angry. I just try and have patience with that time because I mean that happens to me too. I'm sure we've all experienced that. Django's Maximoff would also go after Conrad for criticizing ABC, Disney-owned ABC, and the liberal media for attempting to ban guns. So here's one. ABC trying to drum up gun banning by calling AR-15 a military weapon. F the liberal media. Okay, like that's tons of people have said that. Nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that.
I've said that.
Yeah,
I've said that.
Yeah. I worked for a Second Amendment
Yeah, right.
group. So yeah, I've definitely said that. Just got a cost. I didn't know what this by a foamer at DCA.
I don't know what foamer is either. I tried to look it up, and the closest definition I could find was somebody who like foams at the mouth.
Yeah.
Like they get really angry and crazy at you, but I don't even know if that's right.
Yeah.
I would think someone at a Burning Man freaking concert.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah. Nano Reaper is saying AR-15 is not a military weapon. Correct. The military uses M1s, I think.
Yeah.
So.
4 ones?
Yeah.
I think still just M1s.
Yeah, I think it's still that. I think that's the standard. At least that's what the Air
Military
Force
uses
is.
bazookas.
That's what the standard Air Force is, I believe. About Ghirardelli, that's chocolate, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
I don't know what he's talking about.
So I guess he's saying he might thinks this guy might like attack him and he wants to defend himself. That's the only thing I can think of.
You're not allowed to defend yourself.
He said he got accosted, so I was thinking he was like, I wish I had a gun to defend myself. If this guy like really went after him again. So I think that's a common thing. That's why gun sales are through the roof.
I think so.
Because people want to defend themselves.
Either that or hire Fat Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
Well, just do that anyway.
Yeah.
Well, he's trying to take Manabite's chocolate, so.
Oh yeah, M4. Nano Reaper is saying M4 and M16.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I think M4s as well. F the foamers defending how Disneyland and George K acted today. If the park president was straight, he probably wouldn't get a pass. I don't understand. So they're upset because he's using the word foamer, is what it seems like. That's what they searched for there.
Yeah, well, I missed that whole thing. I don't even know what that means.
I tried to figure out what that was. I searched because George K was like a Disney CEO or something, executive in 2012. and I couldn't figure out what was going on there. I couldn't find anything. Like Google was not working.
But this is
so
like 2012, right?
yeah, all this stuff is 2012.
It's as relevant as today. Facts over feelings. He hasn't changed his views. He hasn't grown any. Everything that you do in every part of your life is of the moment. And that's one of the problems with these cancel culture people. Like I might have said something off the chain when I was 20. If you bring it up on, if you're able to find that, and
right.
I would be just as wrong today, even though 2 decades have passed and my opinion may have changed, because I made that statement. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. It's like John said, they don't forgive. It's not about forgiving. It's about nailing you to the wall and keeping you there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just as an example, we did a story about Rose McGowan earlier this week. She was wishing Hillary Clinton a happy birthday. Very interesting happy birthday wish. But I did include her previous interactions on Twitter just to provide context on how she had previously reacted to her, which was favorable towards her until this year, which it was a massive turn.
Yeah.
So you're just seeing how she has changed, and her opinion has changed.
It's just context. Yeah.
So Twitter user Christopher M. This guy actually, I think he works at IGN. So Conrad used to work at IGN, and I don't know if they were colleagues at the same time, but this guy does, I think, still work at IGN. He also attacked Conrad and described him as a, quote, vile alt-right nut who seems to be violent, misogynist, racist, and a conspiracy wacko. So I can actually read some of this stuff. So this is from the NeoGaf. I can read some of this. I don't know if you guys can. It might still be hard to find.
Yeah, it's blurry as hell.
But so yeah, there's a thread saying post your electoral college maps here up until election day, and it says, how do you explain Big Oil Texas voting for a guy who wants to kill them? So he's just questioning someone's voting map, saying Texas was going to go for Biden, I guess. I think that's a pretty common question.
I mean, I'm sure Biden supporters have asked that exact same question. It's just a topic of discussion. It's an interesting thing.
Right.
It's not like that hasn't been asked on the news before. Nothing.
Yeah, right.
You got to go out there and harvest some ballots.
I'm almost positive that CNN started off a segment with like, "Why is Texas going for Joe?" We'll have more in a second, and I don't see them getting destroyed.
Yeah. The topic on this one says, believe science now. New York Times says school children don't fuel virus. LA County Department of Health, the one where I can't read it. I'm sorry. I'm having trouble.
No worries.
Okay, it's all nonsense anyway.
Yeah, right. We can make up whatever.
Yeah,
it'd probably sound better.
See if I can zoom in real quick. That's still not happening. Yeah, they open schools other than the election or something like that. We'll skip that one though. Trump 10-15-20 Trump Biden town hall thread Thursday night ratings duel. I want to reach through the TV and punch this bee just to shut her up. I guess he's referring to a video or
moderator.
Something.
The moderator, yeah.
Moderator of the debate.
Well, this was the town hall. I think he's talking about Savannah Guthrie, maybe.
Oh, right. That was the day they were on 2 different channels. Right.
Yeah. I think a lot of people said that. I mean, I think he could have probably said it a little better. He's being obviously
a little abrasive, but
yeah, and a little nasty for sure. But I think a lot of people held that opinion. It's not out of the ordinary that they were upset with how she was engaging with the president of the United States. And then this one,
I've heard a bunch of people say worse about Trump.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we cover it all the time.
Right.
We actually chide them, like George R. R. Martin. He should be more imaginative with his insults.
Yeah, I was going to say
Good.
James Gunn has much more imagination in his insults. People who watched the George R. R. Martin video will get that. Given multiple opportunities, Jim Acosta refuses to denounce being a C word, I think that is, and watching his C word. Okay, that's a little over the top there too. But this,
getting a little heated now. Getting a little heated.
That sounds like some old James Gunn.
But it's still not. That's still not like what they're accusing him of.
No.
A progressive church took communion with Skittles and iced tea to remember the crucifixion of Trayvon Martin. They should have done it with Pop Rocks and Coke. That just creates an explosion, right? I'm assuming.
Well,
Yeah. So he's that's kind of
hashtag FOMR.
that's a little messed up too. That's a lot messed up actually. That one. Because
Depends on where you put the Pop Rocks.
Mm.
Can the explosion hurt you? Does it shoot through the aluminum? Does it create like shrapnel?
It's more about like shooting it out. Like the soda causes this big funnel, so like.
It's in the. You couldn't do it in a can. It has to be in the bottle where you shake it up, right?
I think I don't know.
It's been a while since
since I've done it, but I don't think that hurts you.
He can't handle it. Don can't handle it.
Emails reveal Hunter
Biden
Biden.
out and freaking spout.
No problem. I'm shutting up so much.
Emails reveal Hunter Biden's associates helped communist-aligned Chinese elites secure White House meetings. Different source, not the MacBook. Odds of Hunter committing suicide and stuffing himself inside a duffel bag before the election. Then fiction can get something. Can't tell.
Oh, yeah, I know where he's going with that.
Yeah, that's just an Epstein reference.
Epstein, yeah.
Which I'm sure lots of people are making those. Senate Democrats block COVID aid bill. They'll let everyone die if it gets them power. Everyone has been saying that too. So I'm not really sure where this seems to be violent. I guess the Pop Rocks is a little bit, and then punching Guthrie. Yeah. So, but
John, it's a simple thing of he leant one way at one point, and he saw the way that the country was heading, and he started realizing that maybe some of the things he usually supports are not what they used to be, like some of us other left. And once he changed his position, once he changed his thinking, he became the enemy. Then he's labeled. That's it. Doesn't matter what you said before. It doesn't matter how many positions you had.
Doesn't matter what you say after that. That's all you are now.
That's right.
Red pilled.
100%.
Get that scarlet letter.
But yeah, so he's quitting his websites because he was they were posting his forum posts on Twitter.
Well, they got to prove their case.
Yeah.
Feelings.
Yep. So he is quitting after he was canceled on Twitter. That won't if anyone tries to do that to us, we won't be quitting.
Yeah.
If especially someone was trying to do that to us today on Twitter, and I was like, no. Just one word answer, no.
I think we get that every week.
Yeah, pretty much. It's been a while. I will say it has been a while. It's usually just like people who haven't read the article or something. It's like, please read the article. Or they're asking a question. It's like your question's answered in the article.
Yeah, because then John goes like, it's in the article, and he links them, and the discussion is done. They don't say anything else.
Well, luckily we have places like Transparency Tube that can just tell you exactly what something
is. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I saw that. We haven't.
We're not on Transparency Tube.
You're not.
Not yet. I did look that up. You're right. We're not on there yet. We're not big enough on YouTube yet.
We're not
big enough there. I'm sure if we were, it would be. It would probably
alt-right, all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
We would have all of the little tags that everyone
you can't have an opinion, right? You can't have an opinion. I'm a centrist that leans left, but because I have opinions, I'm alt-right. You're like, what are you talking about, bro?
I'm an anarchist that leans down.
Yeah, buddy. Down to his knees.
So we got a couple more people joining us in the chat. Bad Comic Reviews is here. Runner is here. Raquel Briggs, thank you all for joining us. Glad you guys are here. So we kind of got, I didn't get to tell you guys what I was talking about, so we'll circle back to that because we kind of got into Jeremy Conrad quitting and getting canceled and Phantom Menace. Yep. If you haven't, you should. I'll figure that out. But yeah, so I've still been watching Iron-Blooded Orphans, Gundam. Absolutely fantastic. I finished the first season. I started season 2. Nice. I knew one of the there was going to be a major death because Gundam always has the characters that you kind of feel for die, and they definitely killed off one of the ones that you were going to feel the most for. You knew it was coming. You knew at the beginning of the episode that it was coming. It was heavily foreshadowed. And I sat there and I told my wife, and I was like, this guy's gonna die. It's
He's so
obvious he's gonna
dead.
die.
Yeah.
But then, and so you kind of already like steeled yourself for it, and then you get to that moment, and it just like it gets you, and you're just like you're gutted at that moment, and it was so well written, and you really felt for him, and you felt for Orga, and it was a powerful moment. It was really well written.
Nice.
And then we got some really awesome Gundam battles with Mikazuki and the Barbados. And I don't know. I feel has Gundam really done this? I don't know. I guess they've kind of done this before, where they've done like where like I guess it's pretty much been part of all of Gundam where you like have human transcendence. In this case, it was with the new types and everything. In this case, it's the transcendence is becoming one with a machine. So I actually thought that was kind of interesting.
I like that. I thought that was a cool angle to it.
Yeah, I know that they had like saved him for like the boss fight. I think that would have been a little bit more interesting character to like explore. I know we got a little bit of Ein previously, but if we had gotten, if we had gotten a little bit more of him, because they kind of made him into like this crusader type character, where he like he saw them as like evil, and he just like wanted to root out the evil, and it was really interesting how Mikazuki was like reacting to that. He's just like, what are you talking about?
Like, you are going off the rocker here. This is not what I signed up for.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of strange that they didn't explore that, because it would have really been interesting to see, because you could have had like a Terminator aspect almost, because he has become one with this machine now. He sees these people that aren't at his level as inferior.
Yeah, he started to like lose his humanity almost.
Yeah, and I really wish that we got to see more of that. And I don't think we're going to get to see more of that, because we'll see. But it looks like they're going in a bit of a different direction in season 2, introducing the Dawn Horizon Corps, which are these pirates, which I actually think is really cool. I like the idea of pirates in Gundam. I was doing some research on our last week. I did a story on this Crossbones Gundam, and it's all about these crossbone. What are they called? The Crossbone Squadron, I think.
Something like that.
And they're actually the heroes, and they're the pirates in that part of Gundam, and it was really cool. Like reading the manga's really good. It's like manga's so much better than comics, dude. So
it really is.
There's literally like, if you have any kind of like conversation or anything, it's not drawn out to like 3 or 4 pages. It's like, here's your conversation. Like Gundams are fighting again.
Well, that's what I've noticed so much with this little journey into like back into DC Comics. There are so many pages where it's like Batman talking to himself for like 3 pages, and then the issue's over, and I'm like, that's it? That was the issue? Like, that was so pointless. Why is this event 5 pages or 5 issues long? It could be 2.
But did you get a Batarang talking to himself? Because that's important.
No, I got one of those cutout masks that I'm totally going to use, because that's what you do to your comic book covers. You cut them up.
Okay.
So I do see we have some super chats. Fat Steven Seagal beat up Trailblazer. That's why we don't have New Warriors, because Fat Steven Seagal ended Trailblazer. So was she the one who has like the magic bag?
She got the magic bag.
So Fat Steven Seagal, if you beat up Trailblazer, I hope you also have the magic bag now. It'll be interesting. We're definitely fearful of you right now, because you have the magic bag. We don't really know what the magic bag can do.
It was full of tasty cakes and donuts.
Yeah, probably. It's a joke, but it was a great joke in Die Hard when he's like he's guiding all the donuts. The cop is in their fire. He gets all the donuts, and like what does the guy say to him? And then he's like, "It's for my wife. She's pregnant or whatever."
Yeah.
You got a craving. I love that. And then John McClane like says he says, what does he say to him? He says something, comments to him. He doesn't say it to him. He's like commenting to him. And then he says, "Welcome to the party, pal." After he throws the guy out the window. But yeah, Fat Steven Seagal beat up Trailblazer for I think that's Canadian, $2 Canadian. Try Walton's 2, Jawa's 1 cup special brew. Hail author. What is that? What is that reference?
Steven, it's gone. It's over. Nobody's talking about coffee enemas anymore. It's over. Drive people away. It's
Fandom menace now.
Passe. It's bad. But thank you, Fat.
Volume 3. The end.
And then Mr. Wolverine 007, $75. Thank you so much. Loving the show, but Spencer, please, son, buy a microphone. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
I
My
know,
ears can
I
only take
know.
so much. Get me a USB mic, thank you.
I do need a new mic.
You paid $75 to tell you that, Spencer.
He might be getting a Christmas gift. We'll see.
Whoa. We'll see. Thank you, Mr.
Might
Wolverine.
cost like
I'll try.
$5.
Thank you for the $75, Mr. Wolverine. We really appreciate that.
That's great.
I think that's the first time I've seen Mr. Wolverine in the chat. So thank you so much for that. We really do appreciate that. All right. Larry's making fun of Trailblazer, Fat Dora the Explorer. Yeah.
You're such a kid, Larry. Oh my God.
Brutal Morningwood. All right, I don't know what's going on. Spencer went and now there's. All right.
Wow.
So now I muted him again. He's
$75 got him excited. Now we know what his threshold is.
Brutal Morningwood says, forget Lara Croft Tomb Raider. She's Dora the Fridge Explorer. I saw something else here too. Oh yeah, Luis Morales. Thank you for joining the chat. Luis Morales says Trailblazer is a plagiarized Doraemon. The bag is a stolen idea from Doraemon's Yoji Gen pocket. I do think I think the bag is something that Marvel has had before. I've
had a bag, but I divorced her.
I think there's a magic bag. No, yeah. But yeah, I think there's a magic bag that's been passed down in Marvel before, and I think there's like a connection to that. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that if they hadn't, they probably didn't know about it, and they might have probably just saw Doraemon and just taken it from that. Like Marvel Comics is literally ripping off from themselves. One of the latest issues of Darth Vader literally pulls from the previous run on Darth Vader. Like it's the same plot point. He's cut down. He has to rebuild his armor and then defeat his opponent. It literally happened in Charles Soule's run, and now it's happening again in this run, and it's happening at the same time around book 5.
They're not original.
Really sad.
There's nothing going on over at Marvel. I mean, like I've mentioned before, I'm taking this dive back to DC because I was interested in the crossovers. The only crossover Marvel's doing is a revamp of the Kree Skrull War. It's just that part 2, and we've been here, guys. We get it. You want to wank off Captain Marvel more, but the fans don't. We don't want that anymore. Let's get a new story.
Yeah. Fast Steven Seagal beat up Trailblazer again for Canadian $2. Says, here's $2 for better jokes. Enemas are funny.
No, Fast Steven. No, they're not funny. Who puts coffee in their butt? Who does that? That's disgusting. Who was to talk about it?
Wait, what are we talking about? Putting coffee?
Right.
I feel like I'm out of the loop here.
All right. This is what happened. Okay, I was in a chat at John Talks live stream. Nina Infinity was in there. Jane Theory was was in there talking about Nerd Cookies said Nerd great channel, by the way. Go subscribe to Nerd
Epic
Cookies.
Stream.
Her mother puts coffee in people's rectums as a part of some health regimen. And that was disgusting to me. I thought that was a disgusting thing. And then these ladies, Nina Infinity, according to Christy, Nerd Cookies, and Jane Theory began spreading a terrible rumor that I do that. I do not do that. I don't do that.
That's like the sunning thing that what's his name?
Yeah.
Josh Brolin did, and he burned it himself. It's what are you doing?
Dude,
There's a reason why stuff comes out. You don't put stuff in.
There's a reason it's called Where the Sun Don't Shine.
Yeah.
Exit only. That's gross.
The commercial for Walton's Best Brew is still on my channel. So.
Oh, they made a commercial?
Yes,
I
made
this
a commercial, Don. Oh my gosh.
Spreading vicious rumors about me.
I'll have to look at it. You never showed that to me. I'll have to find that. Brutal Morningwood says enemas may not be funny, but they do tickle your insides.
You're not that brutal. Don't change.
All right. All right. what do we want to do next? Do we want to do Star Wars? I don't know if I even want to do Star Wars anymore because it's just
Who does?
Disney doesn't.
so
No, they'd
sad,
rather have a
man.
bunch of people standing around the table. That's the supposed writers group talking about.
We don't
Well,
get
this
media
is-
anymore. We just get we get tweets that say, "Oh, by the way, this happens."
This is apropos because we're going to have Mandalorian season 2 come out at the end of this month.
Like,
Yeah, in 2 days. 2 days, the 30th,
So,
Friday.
I mean, we got to
Until
talk
they have
about.
butt love, because that's very important to
What's
the writers
happening?
at Disney Lucasfilm.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out when we're going to do a live stream on that. It'll probably be like in the evening, Friday evening when we'll do our Mandalorian review.
That'll work.
All right, I don't before we are going to do Star Wars. Before we get into it, I do want to I got an email from Viz, so I'm just going to bring this up because I thought this was just kind of cool. I just wanted to do something. No.
Okay.
Positive.
Here.
Yay!
We're doing something positive here because I just think this is really cool. This is just really cool, and I know Spencer will be. So I think this is just like a promotional email, but I think
Yeah,
this
it
is still
must
really
be.
cool.
What the hell? It's been going
Luffy's-
for 1,000?
Luffy's journey to 1,000 One Piece chapters and beyond. One Piece is coming up on a very special and impressive number 1,000. After more than 20 years of continuous weekly serialization, the manga will hit its 1,000th chapter in the near future. To celebrate this upcoming historic occasion, we're making chapters of One Piece free each week to read. It all starts today with chapters 1 through 8 free in Shonen Jump. 1 week later, those chapters go back in the Shonen Jump digital vault, and new free chapters will come out. Which ones? You'll have to check back each Wednesday to find out. So that's really cool.
That's a
Viz
really
is
smart
giving out.
idea. That's great.
Oda's
Viz
gonna
is giving
die.
out free One Piece. Wait, what?
Oda's gonna die. A chapter a week?
No. They're these are old chapters. Old chapters.
Oh,
Yeah,
So
they're
they're
making.
already
Get to
written.
work, Oda.
He already is
Yeah,
growing at it. He's gonna die before it happens.
Spencer, didn't you just do a story about he had to do a delay and he was like, "I'm getting back to work."
Yeah,
and
so
all the
like
fans
yeah,
are
like a
support for
couple
him.
weeks ago, he's on this. So back earlier this year, he said we want to publish chapter 1,000 before the end of the year, and Shonen Jump does one chapter a week, and there are breaks, but Oda was like, "We've got
It's
this."
like a month, one a month. Is it one a week?
It's one a week.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it comes out really often.
Dragon Ball Super is like once a month, though, right?
Super
It's
is once a
sometimes
month. Yeah,
two.
Super is once a month because it's like a digital only series. But so yeah, Oda suddenly earlier this like in September got sick out of nowhere. And he had to take a 2-week break. And he came back and was like, "I'm so sorry. Like I didn't really mean to take a break. Please forgive me." And everybody was like, "Dude, we just want you alive. Like it's fine. We can wait until 2021 for chapter 1,000."
Yeah, but I think that's just a personal goal that he set and he wants to get to.
Yeah, that's not Shonen Jump saying like we want that out. Then he's saying like let's see if we can.
So if you're looking for some good stories, the first I assume the first 8 chapters that's obviously the first story
Like,
arc.
Beginning.
And you're looking for some good stuff, check out One Piece, and they're probably having some really good stuff. We just did a One Piece video last week where Spencer counted down the 10 greatest Luffy fights. If you haven't checked that out on the channel after the show,
It's awesome.
but One Piece is great. I've read a couple. I'm like obviously haven't read as much as Spencer has, but I have read a little bit of it, and it's pretty wacky, pretty crazy. Luffy is a very interesting protagonist, very Japanese.
Very Japanese.
So yeah, it's a little over the top, a lot of fun. Definitely check it out. And almost 1,000 issues. I think didn't like Detective just get to 1,000? So
Detective got to it.
and that's been going on since the 40s. So, but they've done like they relaunched it and all that other stuff. So there's probably more than 1,000 detectives. But yeah, I saw we got some more super chats here. Mr. Wolverine 007 says the best part of waking up, Folgers in your butt. A poet and he doesn't know it, or maybe he does know it, right?
That'll get you out of bed, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's like that. That kind of what is it? D2 is what the D2 Mighty Ducks when they do all the pranks on each other.
Yeah, it's D2.
That sounds like a D2 Mighty Ducks prank.
Oh.
There There were some, or like, oh, that could even be like a Home Alone thing where like you knock them down and then like a freaking pour a pot of hot coffee on them with like.
Oh yeah, that definitely sounds like a Home Aloner.
Oh yeah, that would be great. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that.
There was 2 more super chats above that. So if you didn't
I
get
saw that. Yeah, I saw that there was I think we got. Fat Steven Seagal. I was going to save Toxic Manfluence because I think that's actually we'll talk about that. Fat Steven Seagal beat up Trailblazer. $2 Canadian says what Walton's hand pouring into your butt. Oh, no.
Not here, not on Bounding in the Comics channel.
Well, if the Phantom Menace Volume 2 fails, we all know that you have an up and starting enema business. So,
Father Christopher Miller, we are apologizing beforehand if you're still in the chat.
enemas are just a medical procedure.
And then the next super chat, Toxic Man Flu for $2. Star Wars isn't about stars or wars. Discuss. No, according to
like that one writer. One writer.
Who was it that was telling us that Star Wars isn't about
Smith?
war? No, Matt Smith is an actor, isn't he? I have to look it up. We did a story on it. It's one of them. It's one of those
so bad.
story group people.
I need a bleep button.
He was like, Star Wars is no. It was I know who it was. It was what's his name? Oh my gosh, it's off the tip of my tongue.
Gosh,
he's like an author.
Star Wars is about intersectional relationships. It's about side characters, not the main characters. And you've got to go back into the original trilogy and write about the side characters and who they want to sleep with, and how they're rejected by the main characters because they're Sith, and all of the adventures that happen behind the scenes and in the back doors of various characters. So that's what Star Wars means. That's what it is now. I tried to censor myself.
Yeah, as far as I can tell from the last 4 years, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That's what it is. It's a platform. It's again. We have these idiots who get into these positions of creativity. They repurpose established franchises, things that have already made money, things that have a built-in fan base that you can. But instead of worrying about respecting the legacy and lore of what came before it, they would rather beat you over the head with their members and pronouns, and tell stories about droids having sex with Lando Calrissian. I'm sorry.
See, I brought this up before. I don't. There's an angle to this where I believe that, like, did you say he was a toaster?
Lando having.
Well,
sex with
it's
There's a meme.
Oh God, how do I say this? How do I say this? It is an AI gang party inside the Millennium Falcon now. There's a bunch of droids in there. They're just having a good old time in there.
But see, my theory
there's 3 of them.
My theory is that these writers, like, oh gosh, what was I going to say? Come back to me. I totally just blanked on it.
Christy, don't start no trouble. Sorry.
They have these. All right, go.
Oh, sorry. What I was going to say is that all these people who have gotten into the creative positions now, like in comic writing, script writing, directing, a lot of them are younger. They're in their early 20s, early 30s. I feel like a lot of them came from the big rash of the, not even gender studies, of the participation trophy culture we had all those years ago, and we still have, particularly in America, spreading out to other places. Because these people, I believe that these people were told so often that everything you do is special, everything you do is important, everything you do, no matter how minuscule, matters. They now think that, and people want to hear about my life, so they repurpose their life into space, and now you've got disgruntled generic worker dude who doesn't like the pretty boy because he's getting the girl. And it's all just projection because they think that's what people want to hear about. I mean, like, my life is not that exciting in the day-to-day. I don't think anybody wants to read a story I write where Anakin Skywalker sits at his desk writing a bunch of articles all day before he goes and takes a nap. Like, but that's what they're doing.
You don't want to see Anakin Skywalker working for Watto in the hut.
Kind of want to see that.
I want to hear about Watto's relationship.
Yeah, I just want to see more Watto
and how they identify and what they use in their stuff.
How how his race procreates.
Absolutely.
Matt Martin.
Yeah, it was Hal Hickel, Star Wars, and the Mandalorian animation supervisor. So this guy is an animation supervisor, works on the Mandalorian. Hal Hickel claims Star Wars is not about war. So George Lucas has said that it's a what is he? He's called it a family drama. I think is how he describes it. But he's never said it's not about war. Literally, all the original trilogy films have battles in them. He literally called it Star Wars. He called the movie Star Wars. The first movie is called Star Wars. And in that you have Battle of Yavin 4. That's literally a battle in a war.
4. You've got
Battle of Hoth is in Empire Strikes Back.
Yes,
you've got both of the attacks on the Death Stars.
You don't understand.
You walk the campaign on Endor.
Yeah, Battle of Endor.
It's not about that. It's about the cleaning droids and their relationships with the people who maintenance the ships and their binary systems and stuff like that. That's what it's really about. You got to go behind the scenes. You got to repurpose the originals and tell stories about, the trials and tribulations of having relations with species who don't have genders. That's what it's about.
If the old stories told as compelling of a tale as the entire saga of Canto Blight in The Last Jedi, we wouldn't need to go back and repurpose them.
Those stories were stunning and brave.
They liberated those animals. There was a message there.
That was and they left the kids in slavery. Oh my gosh.
Only portly Asians are allowed to assault black men.
Anyways, it was Matt Martin who said that none of the canon really matters.
Oh yeah, he's about the canon, but this guy Hal Hickel said that Star Wars is not about war. He was responding to Ben Shapiro criticizing Disney Star Wars. Let's see if I can get to his tweet.
How will all be labeled alt-right hero? God,
the alt everything.
What does he say here? Not surprising in the least to find that Ben is just one more empty human. I completely failed to understand what Star Wars is about. Kind of glad, actually, that over and over I see correlation between political views and trash opinions on pop culture.
Yeah, by people like you.
Where is it?
By people like you, Hal. Repurposers with no damn creative talent like you. Infesting entertainments and using them as platforms to espouse division and hate. Thank you. Go sit on it. I'm trying so hard, John.
It's okay. No, keep going. Where is it? Okay, yeah. So he was asked. This guy, Chi Hovara, asked him about. He was like, "What's Star Wars all about?" Then he asked him what it was all about, and then he shared this Starlog interview that Lucas gave, where he talks about what it's about. He literally calls it a war film. When you're making a war film, how are you going to put women in it? Think of other war films. Think of The Longest Day. Those films. Well, it's your galaxy. I have to go with the rest of the world and still make it believable. I'm not sure how many women will be in the rest of the films. That's the kind of thing that plots dictate. What would Star Wars have been like if Han Solo had been a woman?
Lucas doesn't say anything about it not being war.
That's true.
He calls it a war film.
It's about genders.
No, he said it is it is about
a war film right there.
Film. Yeah, he calls it war film multiple times.
But did he do it in the last 5 minutes?
No, you're right.
So it doesn't count.
Yeah. So then, obviously, he's got he's getting called out here. So then he deflects, doesn't answer the question. Well, it sure is shit ain't about exclusion. I know that much. And then Chase says, "Are you suggesting that war is about inclusion?" And then he says, Star Wars, while set against the backdrop of war, is not about war. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's totally about war. It's about war and it's about war on multiple levels. There's literally a spiritual war happening in Star Wars between the light side and the dark side of the Force. It's there. That is there. That is in there. And then you have the war between the Empire and the Rebellion. It's there's so many different levels of war that are in Star Wars, and that's why it's so good, because there is so much war. But yeah, this guy is an animation supervisor who's working on Star Wars now, and he doesn't think it's about war.
Not about war, John. It's about gay stormtroopers. It's about Tarkin's relationship with a stormtrooper.
I mean,
that's what it's. You just
Like,
don't understand.
Luke wanted to go to war because, like, what is it? His friend Biggs, right, had signed up and had gone to like the academy or whatever. He wanted to go and sign up.
From the very beginning, he wanted to sign up for the war.
Yeah.
That was his whole point when he met Obi.
Yeah, and his uncle
"Yeah,
was keeping him.
They don't talk about Biggs' attraction to Luke. They need to fill that in. They need to go back and make us understand this. That's why Luke wanted to get in the rebellion.
So then he added this also, and I can't stress this enough. I don't care what you think of the films. It's none of my business. Well, you obviously did. That's why you responded. And that's why you crapped on Ben Shapiro, because you do care what people think about the movies.
Yeah.
Them, don't like them, doesn't matter to me. All I'm saying is people shouldn't be shitty about it. Well, you just were. So.
But you just, yeah.
So yeah.
It's the same thing with these people. It's projection and then blaming you for their projection.
Yeah.
It's like that one tweet where it's like Twitter is 98% people convincing themselves somebody exists and then getting mad at them.
Yeah. But this ad is more interesting to me than his comments because they're just wrong.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The pizza with the pumpkin face. I don't know. That's a pretty good ad. I like it.
Maybe Hal likes pizza.
Get a hat.
Yeah, maybe he likes pizza, but yeah, that's a pretty good ad. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so let's we're on Star Wars, so we'll keep going. This is what we were really gonna talk about. Is this from a certain point of view? I know I did a video yesterday about the Han Solo one, I think, right? So I did that yesterday, but I didn't do a video on this one. But there's another. I think did you do this one, Spencer? No, I think I did this one. The Lando one. I did the Lando.
Yeah, you did that one.
But we do have while I'm getting this ready, we do have another super chat from Fat Steven Seagal, beat up Trailblazer. I'm going to always say that full name there because it's hilarious.
It's pretty great.
For $2 Canadian, Star Wars is about Chewbacca's grandpa whacking it. No, oh my god.
Wow.
It is.
Stop giving them ideas.
If you count the Star Wars holiday special, it is.
Yes, but you know what? The grandpa was a Sith, so we don't talk about him. That's bad. We don't talk about that.
No, the guy who gave him the holodisc is the Sith. he corrupted him.
Right.
We have another $2 super chat from Justin Proper. Thank you for joining us, Justin Proper.
Justin.
Please tell Drew to stop throwing rocks at my house. I think that's another. I think that's an inside baseball thing. That was you did that last week too. I think, or the week before. I still don't understand. I still don't know that one. Have to be explained.
Did you try to cancel Drew Taylor, Justin? What happened?
Oh man, I saw somebody cited one of Drew's articles that he wrote for us, and they cited him as Dave Taylor.
He can identify
Dave?
The guy from Wendy's, yeah.
The guy from Wendy's.
The guy,
right. He can identify as Dave if he wants to.
I was just like, no, Drew.
Yeah, so Brutal Morningwood points out that there's spoilers. So yeah, we're gonna be talking spoilers if you plan on.
If you intend on buying this piece of crap.
Yeah. There might be like one good story hidden among the horrible ones they've been promoting.
And just wait for somebody to post it on like Reddit or Twitter and see like, why don't we get more of this? It'll be there.
Your bar is a little too high for the Disney Lucasfilm Writers Group. It's a little too high. One story. I don't even think a good idea is going to come out of this. This is all about the craziest thing. Every excerpt that I have read has everything but Star Wars in it. And this
you're totally right.
This whole book is just about going. What this book is. I'm sorry, I gotta preach on this one. What this book is the people at Disney Lucasfilm who are upset that their films didn't make money and it was overwhelmingly panned and destroyed the freaking fan base and destroyed the star and destroyed their financial viability to produce merchandise because nobody wants sequel trilogy garbage. They're so pissed off that the fandom has stood up against Kathleen Kennedy and her woke hires that they're not going to go back. And they're going to go into the OT and the prequels and the things that we love and start talking about genders and gayness and special kinds of gayness just to piss us off, to piss you off, to piss off every original fan, because that's how they view us. They do not care about the financial viability of Star Wars or Lucasfilm, and that's why you need to scream to the high heavens, because the only ones who can make any of these changes are the people that work in the corporate rooms, the people that go together, the guys where they've created a culture where you shift the blame to somebody else and fail up. These are the only ones that can make the difference, and they're completely disconnected from the fandoms. They don't understand what they want. All they see is graphs and charts. They see people bitching on Twitter, and they're like, oh, there's a buzz. There's buzz. They don't understand what that buzz is negative. And as long as they don't take to getting rid of Kathleen Kennedy, as long as they don't take getting rid of these freaking wackos, these crazy perverts that are working in Disney Lucasfilm, we're going to get this. We're going to get more middle fingers at the fandoms. We're going to get more insults, and we're going to be told that we're awful people because we honor the legacy of what we've loved for decades.
I will say that even if they got new. What is that?
That's my wallet.
Oh.
He's
No
money
money in it, but
Well, I've said this before. The money doesn't matter because it's all about pushing their agenda. So they don't care about whether or not they lose money at this point because they're so big and they think they're going to get bailed out anytime they get real problems. I mean, you're already seeing that movie theaters are already trying to get bailed out. People like what's her name, Wonder Woman director is pushing for government. Yeah, Patty Jenkins is pushing for government bailout of the movie theaters. You know that I think Disney is already kind of probably I guarantee you they're probably already lobbying for funds from Florida, California, and the feds. So that's why money doesn't matter to them, and they want to push their message. And that's exactly what this is. This is just everything I've seen from this is them just pushing an agenda, and it just reinforces the idea that's all they want to do.
They do. John, do they sit around the writers' table and talk about their genders and talk about,
Yes, we know they do that. We saw they put it in their promo video for High Republic. It's on their whiteboard.
Yeah,
it's on the whiteboard. They do talk about. That's exactly what they do. It's on the whiteboard. So yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. And so even if I think even if you got you're talking about getting rid of all the people there, they're just going to hire the same types, new types to replace them.
They need to cleanse them all out. They need to just cleanse it all. Look at
I'm
the
of
record.
the opinion you have to just go on your own, man. I really thought I really thought I would probably. I mean, Spencer and Don know this, but and folks in the chat, I really kind of was holding out hope that Star Wars could probably turn the corner, but it's that hope has diminished.
The way I feel about Star Trek. The way I feel about Star Trek, John.
Star Trek, there's no hope.
But you know what? I mean, and I get people that walk away from it, but many people have. I get that, but I'm going to keep talking about it because this puts franchises that are growing now that may become something in the future at risk. This means other franchises that haven't been touched yet. They're trying to get their tendrils into Lord of the Rings, and I want to protect them. So that's why I still talk about this, because it needs to be fought. People need to understand.
Yeah, we're still talking about it, right? We're still covering. I'm not saying we're not going to stop covering it. I'm just saying I don't think. I mean, I just don't think that I don't think it's going to course correct anytime in the near future. It's going to get worse, way worse, and it'll probably be like a D level property before the corpse is laid to rest.
Yeah, they're still going to be having Zoom calls and juggling themselves and having conversations about crazy perverted stuff. Yeah.
And that's also one of the reasons why we talk about stuff that we're interested in the beginning. I can't recommend Gundam enough, man. The original UC Century stuff is really good. Even the most recent stuff they did with the Unicorn that you can watch on Netflix is really good. The Iron Blooded Orphans is fantastic. Spencer and I were doing G Gundam. Obviously there's some episodes that weren't as good as others,
but that's every show ever.
Yeah, every show. And there were some bad episodes, but there also was some really good. There were some really good episodes. And then I was even reading. When I was doing the research on the Crossbone Gundam, the manga is really good too. So there's lots of really good stuff out there. And Gundam is out there, and it talks about a lot of these themes too, and it has the nuance with the political intrigue that I really like. You get that in Wheel of Time. You get that in Dune. Star Wars has the political intrigue as well. Lucas really kind of ramped it up with the Clone Wars, and the animated Clone Wars, and then also in the prequels with the palace intrigue stuff. It probably could have been done a lot better, but he laid that groundwork there and really fleshed it out really well, I thought, in the Clone Wars. And I the palace intrigue stuff is good. Game of Thrones took it way over the top. But I like that stuff. The in-world politics is really interesting to me, and seeing how things play out. With what?
With boobs. I like.
With
boobs.
Yeah, Lofter. She's my girl on Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Yeah,
she's
dude.
Great. Naze Turbine, man, that guy's just got a harem on his ship. But yeah, so 40 stories celebrating 40 years. It's not celebrating; it's demeaning.
No, it's not.
From a certain point of view, it's definitely from a certain point of view. They're not lying to you about that. It's not what you think it is from Obi-Wan, but it is from a certain point of view, for sure.
That point of view involves something called tongue punching.
That artwork, though.
You like it or not?
No.
Don.
No, look at it. Look at it. Compared to the artwork that they had for the films, that they had for the novels back in the day.
I will say the Mandalorian.
A better artist.
You're being a colorist. Stop being a colorist.
As much as I've really criticized the Mandalorian, rightfully so. I think the concept art that they had that they would share for that was phenomenal. Looked great.
Right.
Concept art was in most cases was better than some of the stories that they put out.
But look,
in their
I
episodes.
can do better than this. I'm a writer.
I've seen some of your art. Your art's not that bad.
You could do better. That's not a false statement.
Spencer's art is way better too. His Dragon Ball art, man, is great.
Nice. Let me draw for you, Marvel. I will make everything better.
Dynamic.
Star Wars or whoever you want.
Lots of action. I'm telling you, Dragon Ball Super should be handed out, or just the old school Dragon Ball. Old school Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z should literally be given to all the artists that work on Marvel and DC Comics, and this is how you should be drawing because it's so dynamic,
action,
so interesting. You're glued to it, and you read it. It's like, I'm done. I finished. What?
No, I want more. Yeah.
And you're on to the next one already. It's so good. The old Dragon Ball Z manga stuff is absolutely fantastic.
There's a reason I go back and revisit a couple chapters every year. Like sometimes I'll get inspired to read Cell or Frieza just because it's all so good.
Dude, the Android Cell saga is phenomenal.
It's absolutely so good.
Phenomenal. The artwork is I had never actually really delved into to the manga, and I was kind of just a fan of the anime. Oh, the manga is so good, so good. It's everything they tell you about the source material being better than the adaptation. It's true with Dragon Ball. It's true
in that case, yeah.
So if you're a fan of the anime, read the manga because it's that good. But yeah, so is this the Lando one? Yeah, I think we're on the Lando one. The excerpt is from Faith in an Old Friend, so that is the story by Brittany and Williams, and takes place after Han Solo and Princess Leia. This should be board. It should be board, not aboard. Yeah, so I made a mistake there. See, I point out my own mistakes when I read them.
It's okay. None will ever be as bad as that one from that Variety article. That one was so.
Oh yeah.
That was so.
It didn't make any sense. That article didn't make any sense.
We spent a good 5 minutes on this show trying to just decipher the headline.
Yeah, you couldn't even tell what they were trying to say. Have escaped Hoth, only to be pursued by Darth Vader and Imperial forces through an asteroid field. Yep, remember that? That was a great scene. Solo is able to evade Imperial forces by landing on a large asteroid. There you go. He's still evading them right there. That's actual artwork from the Star Wars website. See, that's when that was really good. After landing on the large asteroid, Solo attempts to diagnose what has happened to the Millennium Falcon's hyperdrive. He assigns C-3PO to speak to the ship's computer in order to figure out what is wrong. So remember, if you remember from when they were trying to escape, after Han tells Leia he's leaving. I'm got to go pay Jabba the Hutt back before he kills me because this bounty hunter and Ord Mantell almost like got me, really spooked him, and he wanted to just go pay Jabba back. He was like, Chewie, what are you doing? Why are you taking this apart? We're trying to get out of here. So you knew you knew there were some issues with it, and it was the hyperdrive because they tried to go to hyperspeeds, and that's why they have to go through the asteroid because the hyperdrive fails. It's during this scene that Williams tells a story from the perspective of Leet, L337. Like,
we don't care.
It's just trash that they even named that robot like Leet.
Leet, I know. They probably thought they were so clever.
It's so dumb.
Like it's not 1999 anymore, dudes.
Seriously. Who was made part of the Millennium Falcon's computer, which now refers to itself as the Millennium Collective.
It's a gangbang in there. Sorry.
It's made up of L337, a former transport droid named V5T, and a corporate espionage slicer droid named ED4. So I did look this up. I didn't put it in the story here. This Millennium Collective was actually introduced in the beginning of The Force Awakens in some kind of encyclopedia book. It was like it was like a Millennium. Yeah, it was a Millennium Falcon encyclopedia book that they introduced them in like 2016.
Yeah, Steven, I was on your side. I thought I missed something in the movie too, and I was really confused.
This is
Star Wars. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I had to look it up. I looked it up. I looked it up. That's what Wikipedia said. It is some obscure Millennium Falcon encyclopedia that probably no one has purchased.
Yeah.
Or they actually might have purchased that because that was Force Awakens. That was before Last Jedi. So they might have that one might have gotten.
Some people had hope.
Yeah.
That
we should have known when they were introducing some weird collective. And this is it's so bad because that's why they're trying to take this. They take this one line that C-3PO said, like, your computer has an odd dialect, and they're like, oh, it's because there's three machines talking to you at the same time. That doesn't make any sense at all. If you have three freaking machines talking, they all have distinct, and in the story, it's like clear that they have distinct voices, and so it wouldn't make sense that C-3PO would say it has an odd dialect. The odd dialect would mean it came from a place that he's not familiar with.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. He's a freaking protocol droid. Listen to them. It's C-3PO got really messed up in those three movies.
Well, they chopped his arm off too.
Well, I mean, the chopping the arm off is fine.
It was more
because he looked like Big Boss, and that was pretty cool. But it was the whole like, oh yes, I know how to defeat the Sith and where the thing is, but I can't give that to you because I've been locked or my programming is locked. And it's like, did Anakin Skywalker, when he was a 10-year-old, know about this? And I don't know. I'm still mad about it.
Spencer, you're trying to make sense of Disney Star Wars. That's your first mistake.
I have to, otherwise I'll lose my grip.
Just wait for the next Pablo book because he'll retcon the retcon of the retcon of the retcon, and then you'll understand.
He's got to put out a new one because he couldn't even get the timeline between Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren right.
God.
People are trying to cite that as like a legitimate information. It's like, dude, he discredits himself in his own book.
Well, he was sitting at the writers' room and they were talking about their stuffs, and he just lost track. There's a lot of genders to keep track of. Like
when I was still reading Marvel back 5, 6, 7 years ago, I noticed that they have no editors over there at Disney. Nobody edits anything. Everything gets just thrown onto a page and they go, looks good, let's go. There are typos everywhere. Information is wrong.
They're copying models from
Greg Land every day.
Yeah. And they left the little. Remember, they left the
peg on the ship.
Peg, yeah, they left the peg on the ship. It's like, wow, so bad.
It's a trash fire.
They just assume that no one's gonna catch that. But as the Millennium Collective, I hate even writing that or saying it because it's just like, this doesn't exist. This Millennium Collective isn't real.
You're not being inclusive, John. You're not being inclusive.
L337 doesn't exist either. Like,
sounds like a troll on 4chan.
Is viewing what is happening in the cockpit. L337 reminisces about her relationship with Lando Calrissian. The droid's memory, that there shouldn't be an apostrophe there. It should be IES. The droid's memories of Calrissian are brought to the forefront after Leia falls into the arms of Han Solo when the ship begins to rock back and forth and she loses her balance. This is key because that's what happens. She falls into his arms because of the worm or the whatever that slug is on the asteroid.
So now we're going to take that and go into some weird sexual thing.
Yep.
Disney Star Wars. Let's do it.
We later find out that they landed within a tunnel of a giant worm or slug. I always thought it was a worm because it was like a Dune reference to me. It looked like a Dune worm. Well, obviously it was that puppet. And it looked great. His movements were shaking the ship. So this is the actual like old school adaptation where they're like, I think this was Marvel, but it's quality. Williams writes, elevated heart rates detected in the cockpit, V5T said. The collective shifted to the cam, bringing up the visual. Han held the woman Leia in his arms. No, he caught her. Like, so I guess he is kind of holding her, but he's catching her. L337 suspected what this meant. She remembered how Lando's heart rate would change whenever they were in close proximity. Something like sadness shoved against her awareness.
What the fuck? What? How? Like, what is going on inside the Falcon?
Is this organic courtship? ED4 said as they tuned in to the cockpit's audio. The collective listened, and L337 was grateful for the distraction. That feeling reached ED4, who sent a gentle nudge back.
Ooh, yeah. It was a tab.
Robots now have feelings for each other.
Yes,
I do. The gentle nudge.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I'm just thinking like if I guess in Terminator he does have feelings for the kid, but like if the other Terminators who are hunting them had feelings, oh gosh, he only had feelings because he was reprogrammed.
Right.
Yeah. L337 no longer had the body she'd spent so long building, or the human partner she'd bonded with so deeply,
or the autonomy to be one of several personalities in a multiple personality disorder Millennium Falcon. That is so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous.
It's so stupid, man. It's so bad.
Disney Star Wars is garbage.
But she wasn't alone, and for that she was thankful. This is some kind of like anime and manga inspired Star Wars. I did not like the art, honestly. I wasn't a fan, but this isn't too bad because you can't tell the faces. But yeah, they're landing in the worm.
Why does C-3PO's head look like a peanut? What the hell's going on with 3PO?
Yeah, it's a little like the art style it's very stylistic. They take a lot of leeway. Williams goes on to then quote The Empire Strikes Back. However, she leaves out the context of Leia falling into Han's arms as well as their back and forth. Williams only writes, Captain, being held by you isn't quite enough to get me excited. Leia hissed. Han pushed her to her feet. Sorry, sweetheart. I haven't got time for anything else. Gross, V5T said.
What the hell would a bunch of numbers care about that? What is going on?
Apparently robots now care about their relationship. So this is a little dark, but this might refresh your memory. This is where she falls into his arms.
I remember this movie.
If you remember, after Han catches Leia, when she loses her balance, she tells him, let go. Han responds, shh, because he's trying to hear like what's going on. And then Leia then persists, let go, please. Han follows that up saying, don't get excited.
Oh, what the Falcon's computer collective did. Ooh, that's good.
It's then that Leia responds, Captain, being held by you isn't quite enough to get me excited, which is actually a brilliant line. It's a great line. She also states it calmly and does not hiss at Williams' rights. She might like think that when she's saying excited, she might think that's why she's hissing, because she's literally saying a word that's how you say it, excited. Because that might be like the hiss, but she doesn't. That she's just saying like, get off of me, stop touching me.
Hiss. I'd even say it's more of a quip.
Yeah, here you can watch it right here.
It doesn't sound like steam escaping.
Right, exactly. There's no.
That's right.
I gotta skip to it. I think it's at like 140. Oh, I gotta boost my volume to make sure you guys can hear it.
Are we gonna get the horny droids talking in this clip, or the whatever the hell they are?
No, that's new Star Wars.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
You got time for anything else?
Was that hissing? Was that hissing? I don't think that was hissing. Let's go again. If it loads.
That was a woman trying to deny her passion for a man.
She doesn't know it yet.
Go, please.
Don't get excited.
Captain, being held by you is quite enough to get me excited.
Sorry, sweetheart. I haven't got time for anything else.
I just love that grimace, that smile that he gives.
Man, I want to watch Empire tonight.
Han's so cool.
Han is cool. It was a great movie. This movie was great. It was a great evolution of his character.
It's just it's a great movie, period. Like, even if you removed it from Star Wars, it would be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And now that I know that the Falcon has a collective of sexy robots talking to each other,
We don't know if they're sexy
Opened it
robots.
up.
We just know they're jealous robots.
Oh, don't shame them.
That's true. I'm sorry, Lando and Han and Falcon.
Is this written by a woman who wants to have an intimate relationship with her vibrator?
No, this is written by a man who identifies as a feminist who is trying to beg for sex from women.
One or the other.
You're muted.
The author is Brittany Ann Williams. So, but yeah,
Oh.
make of that what you will.
Well, I think she could identify as a vibrator.
But yeah, so the whole purpose of this excerpt to me is that L337 has feelings for Lando, which is interesting because in the actual Solo film, she denies that she's into him. She like dismisses it, but then at the same time, she also says like, "Oh, it would work."
She's catty and playful.
She's too near.
So I got that clip here. This person didn't have like this ending part, which is like actually like relevant to the clip. Where like Amelia Clark's Kira asks, "How would that work?" And then L337 responds, "It works."
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
That's not in. They cut that part off. Like, why would you cut the last part off?
She's got data ports.
Because that's what makes it like creepy. But yeah, here I can play this part. So she actually says she doesn't have feelings for Lando here. So they'll probably be like, "Oh, it's just bravado." But like again, this is like a continuity error. I think even in the story, it's even in their Disney stuff, it's a continuity error. Like it's just it's just terrible. Can't even keep their own story straight.
Oh, you said straight, you bigot.
Accurate.
Thank you.
Gatekeeping.
I just stumbled upon this thing. Apparently, Marvel's pushing a book, or they're doing a book now called The Strength Academy. I can hear you.
She should be talking. Why isn't she talking?
But
the gods of good taste muted it for you, John.
There's this new series, I guess they're doing called Strange Academy. That's just Harry Potter for mutants, and that's dumb.
I can't hear anything you guys are saying either. Something's going on with my speakers.
Oh no!
Yeah. Told you the gods of good taste have had enough.
Well, we'll have to skip that. You can watch it on. You can watch it.
That character's so annoying. L3, like it made an awful movie even worse.
Well, that's, again, with that character, they made a character to piss off the audience. That's the purpose of that character, to inject identity politics and piss off the traditional audience, and like everything that they make is nasty. It doesn't have any joy in it. It comes from a depressed place within these people. I hate this place.
Yeah.
And that translates through in everything that they create, which is why nobody wants any original creations from people like this. That's why they have to appropriate pre-existing franchises and then repurpose them in order to inject their message to get their message through, because somebody's going to watch it. Well, Solo lost money. Somebody did watch
Somebody
it.
will, yeah.
I watched Solo. It was average.
It was average. That's what I'd say. It was for me. Yeah, it was an average film. If it had been made with care, I would have been cool with.
If I could see anything with the damn cinematography, the movie is dark.
The one thing that I did enjoy was LL3, whatever her name, her getting killed.
That was the best part. That was the best part of the movie.
Kessel. I mean, I did like Kessel. I thought that was pretty cool. But there's a couple other parts I thought were all right.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
fine with leaving Kessel up to my imagination.
Yeah,
didn't need to
I
see
like
it
having
happen.
Kessel as part of my imagination.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I play a lot of
Yeah.
games. I play a lot of the LucasArts games, so I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole bot. The train job was a. I thought that was a cool idea. I like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was dumb how they killed off. Was it Tandy
What's his
Newton?
name?
The
What was his name? Well, the guy.
what?
Vision.
Vision. Yeah, I thought that was a good
Oh, Paul
character.
Bettany.
Yeah, Paul Bettany.
Yeah,
I thought
it
that
was
was
a
a
good
good character. There was potential for something good there, but you know, it wasn't.
I was surprised how they introduced him where he was actually killing someone or torturing someone. I was like, holy crap. They're actually showing a bad guy doing
I
bad
liked seeing
things.
Darth Maul at the end. Like that's the only thing that had me. But then again, look, that's not one of the things that had me like, okay, I could watch more of that. In the same way that when, like, okay, Rogue One, arguably the most Star Wars-like thing that Disney has excreted out of itself. And one of the favorite parts that I have, two favorite parts, are Vader's castle on Mustafar and seeing Vader at the end. You know, there were other elements. But overall, the tone of the movie is the best thing that they've managed to mistakenly make. And
I liked Rogue One a lot.
Yeah,
I loved when he had to go out on the beach. He was like, I'm one with the Force is with me. I love that.
Yeah, Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen, boy. Oh, that was
great.
That's what sold me on going to see it was Donnie Yen.
Yeah,
you know,
that was so good. And then I love the relationship between him and Baz, whatever his name was.
Baz Kanata.
No,
His name is like Baz Malgus or something.
Yeah. And
were you making a joke, Don?
He was.
Oh.
there were parts of it that I liked. The thing with me is that okay, I'm not an EU specialist. I'm not. I've read enough of it and I've played enough LucasArts games that have incorporated that universe that there are some things I don't like them changing because they meant so much to other characters that I've enjoyed.
So you're like one of the Kyle, right?
I do love Kyle, but I'm not
so much.
I do love Kyle Katarn because I've played characters, I've played story arcs.
So, same. That's why I love him.
But
Dax Rengar, I love him too.
Dig it. Yeah, so that's a hard pill to swallow. In as much as the Force which what a lot of things with the Force Awakens so steered me wrong was like just they threw away stories that could have been presented. It's just garbage. They replaced it with garbage. It's like I just don't get it, man.
Well, The Force Awakens is the epitome of what Hollywood is now: recycled ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it was watching A New Hope again. And Lucas even said that it's like there's nothing new here.
Nothing new. Well, there is something new. Han Solo regressed as a character and became a deadbeat dad, and you don't need training to use the Force. It did way more damage to the brand and the universe than anything else, to the point where there's Pablo's still writing books to correct those mistakes.
I don't think The Force Awakens did as much damage as The Last Jedi did.
Totally. They could have explained that Rey actually had like Jedi training. She just didn't remember it or something.
Yeah, that's where I thought they were going with it.
Yeah,
that's where everybody thought they were going with it.
That's what they should have done because
it made sense.
It had to be that way because we all know that you have to train with the Force to be proficient with it. That's how it works.
All you need is a dyad now. That's all you need. Dyad.
Yeah, I hate that concept.
Oh,
you can
so
download
trash. So trash. That is such an anathema idea to everything that Lucas has said about the Force and has shown us about the Force in Star Wars and in the Clone Wars episodes. That he was.
You ever see that South Park episode where people start eating through their ass? Like that's what Disney did. They took Star Wars and sat on it and got it up in there, and then it came back out. Ugh, and that's the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, it's so bad. But yeah, like I was trying to point out in this in that video, they don't even stick with canon because the L3 here, I have it written down here. She says, the robot says, "Oh, please, it's just us. You don't have to pretend. I'm in the same situation. I'm sure you've noticed that Lando has feelings for me, which makes working together difficult because I do not feel the same way about him." And then in this story, she's like, "Oh, I'm sad because I have feelings for Lando. Where she's like literally like says she doesn't have feelings for him. So
You're a fucking robot.
She's just
Like,
being weird.
I'm just like, as much as like, yes, we can hate on the that her character is crap and she's a robot, but even within the continuity that they have here, they can't even follow it. Like that's how bad this is.
She was menstruating oil at the time, so her emotions were all over the place. So,
but yeah, so this is this whole idea, like, so that's the scene where it basically is like Lando is Pando now, and you had John Kasdan, who wrote Solo, claiming that he was pansexual to MSN, which interestingly enough, that article has been deleted from their website now.
Has it really? Whoa.
Yeah, I looked at one of our old articles that talked about it and had the backlink, and it's no longer there anymore. So they're like trying to get rid of that, but I mean, Kasdan's
we got you.
Yeah, Kasdan's tweet is still up where he like doubled down on Twitter. Like this tweet is still there. Sorry to have brought identity gender politics into Nope. Like, see, this is what I'm saying. These people aren't sorry whatsoever. That is what they want to do. They want to bring identity gender politics into our franchise. They're admitting it. This guy is saying this in 2018.
And I mean, aside from the identity and gender politics, if these authors and writers were trying to introduce their new ideas and they heard this feedback and they were like, hey guys, we hear you, we're going to try and turn this around, we know it's not good, give us another shot, I would have much more leeway for them and respect for them than this crap.
I think that's why people are giving I think you're onto something there, because I think that's why people are giving Mandalorian a bigger breadth. We're more lenient because Favreau is kind of saying that. He's saying like we need to respect the fans, we need to tell good stories. He's always saying like it's all about telling a good story. We want to tell good stories about the Mandalorian. Even when people are asking him about all these spin-offs that are being rumored and all this stuff, he's just like, yeah, we can talk about that, but we really want to like stay with what we have right now first, and then talk about that later.
He's writing like 9 out of 10 episodes, right?
Wait till y'all read my Solo chapter in Volume 2. Sorry to plug my book. Oh,
plug away!
Oh my God, I can't wait to attack.
Plug that book like Lando plugged L3.
Look, I just thank you. I wasn't trying to segue. I'm just saying that quote by John Kasdan, all the different quotes that we heard come out of that time. We got to see a microcosm of Disney Star Wars. Oh yes, this movie is great. It's going to be a trilogy of them, and Pando, Dong Lover, talking about, what's pansexual? What's wrong with being pansexual? All that ridiculousness, all of the tweets, all of the people at Disney Lucasfilm trying to protect this garbage. Because at that time, they had gotten enough money from The Force Awakens, and even though it made half as much, The Last Jedi, they still felt emboldened. They were all a team, arm in arm. Like, our ideology is right. These people are just racist and sexist. So they were out there flag waving, virtue signaling, protecting one another. Then had the whole media and all. Trust me, shills. Trust me, all in the shill media. I got you too, guys. I got you too. Gonna lay it all out for you. It really does show the amount of disinterest that the people at Disney Lucasfilm have for producing Star Wars, but how they hold their ideology higher, how they hold that higher than creativity, than listening to fans. That's it. John Kasdan, all of just the whole woke army of them. And I hope you all check that out in the Fandom Menace Volume 2. Thank you very much. Plug.
Plug.
Oh yeah, there's so going through it. I'll be honest, guys. Going through all the material, going through the history, going through 2018, going through all the articles and the tweets and everything that came out, it pissed me off. Like, it pissed me off again because I had to relive all this ridiculous.
You had to go through it again, yeah.
I had to go through it again. So now when I see books like from a certain point of view, I understand the intent behind it. I don't even need to read the excerpts. I already understand the intent behind that. It's not about Star Wars. It's not honoring Star Wars. It's about attacking you, the customer, you, the consumer. You're the fan. Everybody here. It is about whipping you, letting you know you need to get in your place straight white man, whatever. That's all it's about, man. And it's about a bunch of people that have a fascination with butt sex. I don't get it, but that's what's going on. I don't understand. That's Disney Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying, I don't think it's coming. I've said this before. I don't think there's hope for it. Like, Obi-Wan is no longer with us anymore. We did get a super chat a little while ago. Justin Proper for $5 says, as I opened my front door to tell Drew to stop TPing my house, he threw a diaper full of mayonnaise at me. And I need a shower. Okay.
That's where he is tonight.
So now we know where Drew is. He's over at Justin Proper's house. Are
you sure it was
it's a little
mayonnaise?
early for TPing. Halloween isn't for 3 more days. Isn't that when you're supposed to do that?
Man, Drew got some strange fetishes. I'm about to reach out to my man.
I do see we have Ahsoka Tano has joined the chat. Hello, Ahsoka Tano. I know that lots of people are wondering, will you be showing up in The Mandalorian Season 2? Are those rumors correct, or are they simply a smokescreen and you're not going to be there?
No, she'll be there, but it'll be another voiceover.
Oh, God.
You think so? It'll just be a voiceover?
I don't think
Rosario.
I don't think we're ever going to see anybody real ever again.
I'm kind of looking forward. I like Ahsoka. I understand people's problems with Ahsoka.
I like Ahsoka.
I like Ahsoka Tano. Yeah, so
you like Dave Filoni's body pillow.
I do. You know what? Well, Filoni's questionable. He's definitely a male feminist on his knees begging for some attention. But that character, I just like that character. I like the arc of it. I liked the Clone Wars TV series. They presented a character. I didn't like her in the beginning, but you get to grow with her.
Insufferable in the beginning.
Insufferable, but you get to grow along with her. She should not be beating up Darth Maul. I'm sorry. That did have a problem with that.
That was terrible.
That's bad take. I'm sorry. But overall, I do like the character, and it's one of the few things I'm looking forward to seeing in The Mandalorian. Other than the original cast, which I think did a really good job, those are the ones I'm coming back to watch.
Gina Carano.
Pedro. Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta plug Gina.
I'd plug Gina. I'd catch a child support payment for Gina. She can talk down to me, step on my chest, call me dirty names, ash a cigarette on my forehead. Yeah. But I'm going to go see Carl Weathers because I want to see Apollo Creed in space. And, maybe I'm just thirsty for some Disney Star Wars. But, yeah, I'm sorry. I'll put my pants back on. My bad.
No, it's okay.
No, you're 100% accurate.
The confessional is two blocks down. Ahsoka's saying pray for me because
I'm praying
that bad things are going to happen to her in Mando season 2. No, I have a feeling that if she is introduced, we know that there's going to be other Mandalorians introduced. She'll be on that quest with what's her name from Rebels, the other Mandalorian character who's Sabine. She'll be with Sabine looking for Ezra, and maybe Mando comes across her in their travels. That's kind of what would make the most sense given how that story ended.
Was that Sabine in the trailer?
No. Where?
Oh, you talking about the first trailer?
Yeah, the first.
I thought that's who that was.
Where?
Season 2.
Which part?
When the lady in the dark cloak.
Oh no, that's not. No way. That's the wrestler, WWE actress. There's no way that's Sabine. Sabine wouldn't wear clothes like that. She's always like super colorful, wearing her Mando armor.
My bad comics reviews. You're right. Action Jackson.
That's not Sabine. I think. They make you. I mean, if you take the trailer at face value, they're saying that that's like a dark side user, or like some kind of assassin.
Don't put labels on the Force, John. We don't do that now. Don't put labels on it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Because yeah. What? All right.
A lot of other outlets are guessing that she is Sabine, but
really?
I mean, it's all just guessing.
I think she's a wrestler too, so like the people are getting excited about that.
There's no way she's Sabine. She's a new character.
I'm cool with that.
Sabine is a wrestler, but
she's just like what's his name was last season, the comedian with the redhead comedian guy.
Oh,
He's a new character.
the Deadpool writer, Gary Duggan.
No,
No.
the
Oh,
comedian.
I think we did this last time.
Yeah, we could remember. I can't remember. I'm
Brian
terrible.
Posen.
No, that's not his name either. He's like a stand-up
Just
comedian.
name a bunch of stuff,
Brian-
Spencer.
Bill Burr. Thank you.
Oh, Bill Burr.
Oh, Bill Burr.
Yeah. He's redheaded,
Another
right?
hated man on the internet.
Yeah, I'm
Bill Burr's
terrible with
redheaded,
names.
but he's mostly bald nowadays. So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
He's a
Okay.
bald
Yeah.
man.
Sorry.
And then Brian Posen's got like the crazy red hair.
Yeah, but yeah, it was Bill Burr. He has the side gun, which was actually cool. That was one of the better. That was one of the better episodes. Episode 5. There's still a lot of issues with that, especially towards the end, where the Rebel Alliance just literally bombs that hangar for like without even investigating. They just
no
destroy
reason.
it. It's like, holy crap, this is the Empire, bro. Like, what's going on here? Like, it's like Dave Filoni in the X-Wing. I got him. This is not, what are you doing? The New Republic is just as bad as the Empire now. Like, what's going on?
God.
Like, just let's just destroy civilian because they have an
One
alarm
of the
on
prison
their.
beacons on their freaking
Yeah,
ship.
they got a prison beacon. Let's just blow it up without
Disney Star Wars.
any investigation whatsoever.
Disney Star Wars.
But until that point, that episode was pretty good. Aside from the costuming on the Twi'leks, the Twi'lek costume design was no good. But but they did really good with the Deveronian, which is crazy. They spent too much. They spent all their time on the Deveronian costuming and not enough on the Twi'leks.
Well, the Deveronian was. He doesn't like getting into any kind of backup. What is his name?
The big guy, yeah. But
Lex Luthor's voice on Superman.
As much as he doesn't like doing it,
not
they
Michael.
did a great job on him, though. He was
Yeah.
great.
So yeah, they gotta shell out some money for that guy. God dang it! What's his name?
Ahsoka Tano says, "How about erase the sequels?"
Which
and
show are you
replace
looking
with
for, Don?
with a new trilogy. The guy who plays the Deveronian on The Mandalorian. That's who he's looking
Oh,
for.
Giancarlo Esposito?
No, that's
Oh,
no.
yeah.
He plays Moff Gideon.
Yeah, that's Moff Gideon.
He
Well-
has the dark saber.
Ahsoka, they can't just include a strong female character that the fans like. Can't do that. That would piss off all the Raylos. That would piss all the Raylos off. They'd be very upset.
Clancy Brown.
Yes, Clancy Brown. That's it.
Clancy, yeah.
Is John saying jabroni? I didn't know he was in the mob. Did I say jabroni? I don't know. If I said jabroni.
Heck yeah.
I have Italian. I have Italians on. I am Italian, part Italian, in my heritage. But no, I'm not part of. I'm not part of the mob. I'm not part of the internet mob. I don't participate in the mob. I'm not out on the streets in the mob either. I'm not part of the mob. Mega JD asks, "What became of Rasa Jabba's son?" I don't remember. Wasn't that part of that was part of that animated episode where they introduced Ahsoka, right? And they had to go track down the bounty hunters that captured Rhoda, or who were like hired by Asajj Ventress, right? If I remember correctly.
I'd like to see some Ventress. Well, not by Disney. But
She's dead now, isn't she? Or did she survive? She survived Clone Wars, right?
We need
Yeah,
some deep lore people in here, like OG Star
Yeah, she
Wars.
survi-
Freaking
She survived
Dallas.
the Clone Wars. She was the one who exposed she exposed Barriss Offee as the terrorist who actually attacked the Jedi Temple, the Padawan who attacked. I think she was a Padawan at that point. Attacked the Jedi Temple, and then she kind of just fades off.
Yeah, like disappears.
So yeah, I'm surprised she didn't make it. She didn't show up in like season 7 or something, like pulling like a Maul power move or something like that. Because that feels like something she would do. So yeah, that's the Lando story. The Han Solo story got a video up on the channel. I don't think we're gonna get to that. You can watch that on the channel. Yeah, this guy no longer exists anymore right here. Lando, he's gone. This Lando no
yeah,
longer
you don't
exists.
understand. You don't understand that scene.
cool.
He's really looking at that with intent because now it's got two of his favorite things: men and robotics. So he's actually got a chubby in that scene, but now we know that because thank you very much from a different point of view.
I do think what's really interesting is that Billy D. Williams, they gotcha'd Billy D. Williams, and then when he realized what they gotcha'd him on, he was just like, no, that is not what I was saying. Like, y'all don't know what I'm talking about, and he set the record straight in this interview with Rolling Stone, where the Rolling Stone writer wrote, he was like describing Billy D. Williams when he was like telling him that Lando was pansexual now and like attracted to robots. And he was also perplexed by Solo's suggestion that Lando was in love, maybe even in lust with a droid. Yes, because Lando is a womanizer. He likes women. Like, that is who he is. That's how they showed him in The Empire Strikes Back.
He wasn't banging Lobot. All right, guys. He
wasn't like, oh, Han baby, how you doing? No, he was all over Princess Leia. He wasn't like, yeah, Han baby, I need you, boy. Like,
wasn't looking at Chewie to get into a threesome. It wasn't happening.
Oh, we have a doctor's opinion on the panel.
Oh, good.
In the chat.
Oh, yes.
Read it off, Don. You brought it up.
Yeah. So the sexual orientation of Lando Calrissian is completely irrelevant to the plot of the movie. Not to mention the desecration of The Empire Strikes Back. Angry face.
It is now. Dr. Richard Kimball, it is now.
You get the gaping, the SJW of gaping disgust. That's what you get. That's awful. It was all about pansexuality.
Now you know why C-3PO was really destroyed. No.
Father Christopher Miller, if you're still in here.
We're sorry.
We need a cleansing.
Walton's Best Brew.
Fat Steven Seagal beat up Trailblazer for $2 Canadian says IG-88 was built from shake weights, slap chops.
Yeah.
I imagine there's just warehouses full of them now.
Woo. Built for your pleasure.
Yeah, I guarantee that IG-10.
Oh yeah, the new one.
They'll rebuild him after that was so dumb, dude. I hated that in the end, that final episode. Like they literally have this awesome scene of him riding on the speeder, mowing Imperial troops down through the town, and then he's like, "I need to blow myself up to like destroy like 6 troops." Like, what? What are you doing? What? This makes no sense. He just gotta blow himself up. We did get that epic scene where he's like, where the Mando is like grapple hooks onto the TIE fighter, though. That was pretty awesome.
Now, it would have been great if at the end of that he said, "I have spoken."
The IG-88, IG-10?
Yeah. His last line before he blows himself up. It would have completely forgiven it.
No, it's still stupid. Like the action that he does. It still doesn't. Yeah, like it might have lessened the blow, but it's still dumb. It's still stupid. But yeah, so Billy D. Williams. This is not the author. This is Billy D. saying this because the author's last name's Williams too. So Billy D. Williams said because they were going for something that was topical instead of an adventure that's far beyond those questions. Wise words from Billy D. Williams.
Look at that, Billy.
If you're talking about this huge, incredible story, why lock yourself into this tiny moment between a character like Lando and his robot friend? You know why? You know why they did this? They wanted to desecrate the EU Lando books. That's exactly why they wanted to. I guarantee you that's why they wanted to do it, because we've covered this. The guy who wrote the EU Lando books hates Disney. He literally can't stand them.
That wasn't the huge, incredible story they were looking for, Mr. Calrissian.
Yeah, and from what I haven't read the Lando EU books, but it looks like they were pretty good. And from what I've seen, they were pretty popular at the time when they came out in like the 80s.
Well, he wasn't banging the hyperdrive in those books.
He had a friend though. I think he had a robot friend, but yeah, no, he wasn't. He was not. Yep. He was like, there were some like, they got really like psychedelic with Lando. He was
Yeah, I
like
remember watching like a short on YouTube. Lando.
the
back in
Lando
day.
the Lando books definitely
Just a
take you
womanizer.
super sci-fi out. Yeah, he's romancing some like queen of like a planet or whatever. Even in like I've talked about this before. The Lando miniseries that Charles Soule wrote is actually really really good, and he's not into the robots. He's literally like there like the cover is like him like just hanging out, and then you open the book, he's literally in that pose, and he's like romancing some bounty hunter, and, and like he's in the bed with a woman, not a robot.
Well, Disney's going to fix that. That bounty hunter was transitioned. So. Disney will fix that.
She actually had like multiple cybernetic implants, and that's the reason why he was into that. But yeah, it's just the state of Star Wars. It's like, look at we're never going to see this Lando. I will say we did get to see him in the Rebels. They brought him into Rebels, and they did a great job characterizing him. Also, probably because they brought Billy D in to do the voice of it. When he showed like they smuggle this pig in, and he's just like manipulating them. It's so spot on, Lando. So spot on. And this is before Cloud City. So he's like he's using this pig to find like minerals so he can like accumulate wealth so he can basically build Cloud City, because like that's what Cloud City is, like a mining town, right? So it's like it was actually really good character development in a prequel story. But yeah, so that is, I don't know. I'm kind of done talking Star Wars for tonight.
God bless you.
Star Wars was like my big franchise. I love Star Wars.
I used to.
Yeah, but not. I mean, it's really hard to love it now.
I
still love those original films. That isn't going to go away. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, it ruins the story." It's like, no, those are still really, really good films.
Yeah,
and I can still sit there and watch them.
Everything pre-Disney. We still have everything pre-Disney. We have everything before Disney took it over. Just understand that when you go into the Disney era, that it's not the same. It's never going to be.
Yeah.
There are Chris Neville, thank you very much for joining us. He's saying anything written by Disney Star Wars is just garbage to be discarded from the mind. I do think like the Lando miniseries is probably like the only thing that I would like recommend. And the very beginning of the first Darth Vader comic that Marvel did, was pretty decent. I liked that run.
I liked Rise of Darth Vader, I think, was the mini they did right before that one. The early run on Star Wars, on the core Star Wars, was fine.
Yeah, until they started doing like stupid stuff with like Luke.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to like talk to some like weird mystics that have nothing to do with the Force.
Anything, yeah.
It's so dumb.
And fill up time between A New Hope and Empire, and then
what
probably
was the one where
Sidious was the one who manipulated the midichlorians in Shmi and created
that was in a dark side vision that Vader was having while he was like meditating
in Revenge.
Yeah, it was taking
wasn't it in Revenge?
No, it took place after that. It's in, I think that's in Charles Soule's Darth Vader run towards the end.
Yeah, now
he has this like Force vision of Palpatine like manipulating the Force to create.
That scene, right? No, that's Darth Vader. I remember
himself.
Yeah,
and they're saying, and then Soule was like, "Oh, he's just having a dark side vision that can be interpreted in many ways, or whatever." But like, no, they're hinting at that because they do that they do that in, I think, in another run where they hint that Palpatine is like the one behind it, because I think they just did it in the recent one because Palpatine is like, who do you think created that prophecy? Who do you think's the one behind it? And it's like they're trying to like insinuate that Sidious is the one behind the prophecy or whatever. We did a story on this just last week, I think. They're trying to insinuate that Sidious is the one behind the prophecy, and it's just garbage because the prophecies before Sidious was even alive in the canon. The original canon, when Lucas even talks about it.
Yeah, they're trying to get rid of Plagueis.
Yeah.
Well, no, they did a whole Disney novel on him that's canon, so that doesn't make any sense.
Well,
they're just trying to throw shit at the wall to
Yeah.
appeal to every single
well,
type
now-
of fan so that they can make money, and
absolutely.
none of it matters.
After the rise of Skywalker, they're trying to justify the return of Sidious. That's what they're trying to do now.
And they don't. And we know. And we know from the fact that Pablo's had to do it. We know that these writers, they do not have a cohesive story to tell. They don't work together. They don't come together and say, okay, this is our timeline. These are the events. You know, you're going to write about this. We'll write about that. Like, they don't do any of that. It's timeline. Like, it's timeline. You're right. They just throw it at the wall. And it's more about pressing their own identities, inserting themselves into it, than writing competent, cohesive story.
Yeah, Tehillim is saying 29 because I think I've been pronouncing your name wrong too. I've been adding an H. Tehillim 29 is saying yes, the Force vision was never confirmed. Yeah, Soul came out and said that it wasn't. It was a Force vision. It wasn't confirmation. It's just what he's seeing on the dark side, and that can be manipulated, as Yoda tells us. Jeffrey Turner, Mega Jetty, is saying Lucas intended to have Palpatine pull, and I am your father on Anakin in Revenge. I haven't heard that. Where? What's the source on that? I haven't seen that. But I haven't also looked real hard on that. So if that's true, let me know who the source is. Is that something he said on Is that something he said on one of the DVDs or whatever on the extra stuff?
I mean, Lucas was kind of all over the place, really. You know, to be fair.
I mean, he has that Star Wars Bible, and I mean, I've looked at a lot of this stuff from.
Oh, there was. Yeah, no, that I guess that issue is the revelation. I guess it's not just a vision, according to them, even though it's presented as a vision.
According to who? What are you talking? I'm confused.
So I'm reading an article right now that where the whole Palpatine becoming Anakin's father is from that Force vision where he manipulates Shmi. So, but if they're saying now that that's supposed to be canon, there was a moment where he was supposed to say, "I'm your father," that isn't in the book or anything. So maybe that's just Disney throwing shit at the wall again.
No. So in the comic, it's Vader tapping into the dark side, having a Force side vision. Yeah, and it's his belief that's what he's seeing this vision.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. If they're saying now that that's true, then that's just them throwing crap at the wall. That's not. They haven't shown that.
Oh, I don't think anyone's saying that's true. Soul came out on Twitter and was like, "It's a dark side vision, and it could be a lie." That's what he said on Twitter when he was asked about it.
But it's heavily implied through the visuals.
Yes, it is. And then they talk about it. They reference that scene in the new Vader run where I don't know if you have that up, Spencer. If you want to share screen, you can. In the new Vader run, Sidious says to Vader, he asks him, "Who do you think manipulated the prophecy or whatever?" He says something like that. So that it's just, to me, that's a callback to Soul's run. Or this idea that Sidious is the one behind manipulating the chosen one.
This kind of sucks because Plagueis does nothing then. Plagueis is freaking powerful.
Mega Jetty is saying that the idea that Palpatine was supposed to be Anakin's dad was from behind the scenes on Revenge of the Sith.
Why would he go through all that if he could just clone himself in a degenerate body and then, get inside his granddaughter? Why would he do all that? Doesn't make any sense. Hi, everybody.
I can't find anything on it. So maybe we should look for that info after the stream.
So I'm reading.
Everybody.
This appears to be. I'm Lucas's original concept. Palpatine as Anakin's father. So this guy is posting to the Force boards. And this is apparently from the making of Revenge of the Sith book. And it says, there's this line here: I have waited all these years for you to fulfill your destiny. I arranged for your conception. I used the power of the Force to will the midi-chlorians to start the cell divisions that created you. Anakin says, I don't believe you. Sidious says, but you know it's true. When you clear your mind, you will sense the truth. You could almost think of me as your father. Anakin says, that's impossible.
Force spam.
Nevertheless, you must decide. Later, this dialogue was cut, as you can see if you read on the second column, about halfway down on page 60. It simply states this there. The dialogue indicating that Palpatine was responsible for Anakin's creation has been cut. Not sure why, but Lucas decided that he didn't want Palpatine to be Anakin's father, as many have been speculating on for months here on the forum. Personally, I think this dialogue should have been kept. So maybe he might have thought of that, but it sounds like he chose not to, right? I mean, he was writing Revenge of the Sith, so I'm not sure that he might have thought of that idea, but at the end he chose not to use it. So I'm not sure if that's what he wanted.
Pretty, they're steering away from the metachlorian concept after it was resoundingly told that it sucked. I think.
I just think it wasn't explained really well. He talks about midi-chlorians like in 78. He does an interview talking about them in 78. So he had the idea of the midi-chlorians being part of the Force, like literally from the beginning. Because I mean, 78 was the year right after. 77 was original Star Wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he had that idea. He was talking about that in interviews. I just think it's been poor. I just think it was poorly explained on how it works, and people kind of thought it was kind of taking away from the mysticism of the Force that we saw in the original ones. Where I think that I don't think it really. I think it's still the same. You just have these microscopic beings that communicate with the mystic side of the Force, and I just think that that just people just didn't really understand how it worked. You only have that like one line that Qui-Gon gives to Anakin explaining it in the Phantom Menace, and I just don't think it was really explained very well. I mean, because the concept, it's all stay the same. Like, we all knew that people were strong with the Force from the original trilogy, and others weren't as strong. They made that very clear with Luke and Leia, and Obi-Wan talking about training people, and you need to train in the Force, especially in the Empire Strikes Back. You get that as well, and that you need to be really young to train with the Force. Otherwise, if you're not, if you're too old, you might lack the time and possibly the discipline, and you've created all these bad habits that they probably would take too long to try and get out of you, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
So the Force likes them young. Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah. So Bad Comics Review says purging midichlorians to strip Force users will be the Star Wars conversion therapy. It'll be a future Star Wars movie. Just wait. I think that's actually that sounds like Script Doctor's the idea that that's how they were going to use. They were going to like take cells from Baby Yoda.
The Baby Yoda theory.
To enhance, and then like implanting them in like Imperial troopers to make them stronger with the Force.
That's crazy.
You still need like, for that idea still can't work because you have to be able to train with it over a course of time. But in Disney canon, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Training doesn't matter, John. They just need a dyad.
Yeah, and Chris Neville is saying it's the attachments that led to the dark side in the old Jedi teaching. So you have to like, the older kids already have these attachments. So they also like, they're already like, they have these relationships. They can't dedicate themselves solely to the Force. Yeah, I really want to get it. Like, this is something I don't know if Father Christopher Miller is here, but next time we do our faith and our faith stream on his channel, on the Nerd Fathers channel, I really want to like delve into the aspects of the Force. And I know a lot of people say that it's all influenced by like Eastern mysticism, but I see a lot of Catholicism in it. personally.
Okay. Cool.
And so yeah, we're gonna talk. We'll probably talk more about that on. Hopefully, we'll be able to talk more about that on his next stream. That would be something I would be really interested in doing.
Cool.
All right, so we got about 20 minutes left. We already kind of covered our main 3 stories. Was there anything else we wanted to talk about? Oh, I did want to talk about. No, I don't really want. We kind of already covered that. I don't know. I thought about talking about this one thing, but I don't know if I want to do that anymore. Ichibaka is a really good story about the. Well, yeah, let's cover it. Let me pull that up. We'll I know I said I didn't want to talk about Star Wars anymore, but I do think this is important.
More Star Wars, yay!
With Mandalorian coming out, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do too. So,
has Disney figured out what they're gonna do?
We'll find out.
They're gonna ride that Mando beast all the way until the sun.
Oh yeah, they're gonna beat the living hell out of that show. It's been the only thing that some fans have been like, okay, yeah, I want more of this. But they don't know exactly what they're creating. They're just repurposing. So.
Yeah, because they don't have the stupid side character from Rogue One. They don't have that show. They don't have Obi-Wan.
I
don't know what Leslie Headland's doing.
Character? What are you talking about?
Whatever.
The assassin
character.
Oh, you're talking about whatever his name was. Yeah.
Exactly. See, you don't even remember his name.
I don't remember his name either.
That guy. Yeah.
I know he was K2SO's partner because I remember the droid's name.
When you say partner, what do you mean? Oh, this is Disney Star Wars.
I don't know. Who knows? He might have been into the droids too. I think his name was Cassian Andor. I remember it.
Cassian Andor there.
Yeah, we don't kink shame here. So.
All right, so this is from Disney Star Wars is Dumb Ichibaka. Shout out to him. So yeah, you get this one. I think this actually has all the people's names on it.
It took 40 perverts to put this thing together.
So in a perfect world, bigotry would not be acceptable against anyone at all, but Lucasfilm's new Star Wars anthology book, From a Certain Point of View, The Empire Strikes Back, has proven to be a hotbed of hate and bigotry against the fringe left's current political scapegoat, the straight white male. Ooh. And this highly fashionable form of bigotry appears to be quite acceptable among Lucasfilm colleagues. If you doubt me, feel free to read some of the public statements made by the authors on Twitter. I'm not going to read any of this stuff.
I went through some of them, and they're all fascinating. Everything is white man this, white man that.
I've seen this guy's stuff. It's pretty horrible.
Yeah, they're awful. They're terrible, racist, hateful people. I thought we were fighting that kind of thing in this country. I thought we were trying to get away from judging people solely on their skin tone or their sexuality. But no, not at Disney Lucasfilm. They're very diverse, very inclusive, and those terms, I don't think they understand what those terms mean.
Star Wars is for everyone, except for
shit.
But it gets worse. According to Wikipedia, the book's proceeds are being donated to First Book, a nonprofit organization that provides books and other educational material to teachers and children's organizations. Penguin Random House has also donated $100,000 to First Book, and Lucasfilm donated 100,000 children's books valued at $1 million as well.
So the donations are going to make more than the book. Awesome.
So you think that sounds great, right? Giving books to kids sounds good. But who is First Book? Let's take a look. At first glance, it seems so harmless and heartwarming. Who can have anything against books for children? The children. Think of the children. So this is from Facebook Marketplace, it looks like. First Book, Diversity Inclusion.
Oh, God.
Stories for All Project. Copyright 2009. Well, these guys have been on it for a while.
They have been on it for a while.
As the world becomes smaller, and increasingly the world is not becoming smaller, it's staying the same size. Thank you. Yes. Increasingly diverse in its cultures. That's not true either. There's been lots of different cultures throughout the world's history.
There hasn't.
So, in its cultures and experiences, it is crucial that all children have access to books that serve as both windows and mirrors. Windows and mirrors. Kids who see their own experiences reflected in books gain self-confidence, while reading about experiences that differ from their own helps kids develop healthy curiosity and empathy. It depends on what experiences they're reading.
Right.
That is why we created the Stories for All project. Visit this page often to explore our ever-expanding selection of diverse books and resources and help your kids grow as readers, individuals, and citizens. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not helping people.
Hell no. Dividing.
It's like the opposite.
Right. Well, words don't mean what words actually mean to SJWs. It means the opposite of what it means in the dictionary.
So he goes on, first book, work in classrooms, after school and summer. Like, they are basically all part of all these.
Help
all
us
this
indoctrinate
stuff.
the next generation with
Pretty much.
gobbledygook divisive nonsense.
Apply our expertise to join the fight for racial equity.
Nope. Equity is not equality. Equity
Yes.
is demeaning or devaluing a segment of the population to elevate another. We're fighting against that. Equity is not equality.
Exactly. Ichibaka says equity, not equality. Generally speaking, equality tends to refer to equal opportunity, which is what we all want, whereas equity tends to refer to the Leninist concept of equality of outcome, at least among the SJW ignorati. I like that, ignorati. That's funny.
That's good.
And that's where we start to get into trouble. Here's a statement from their website. Got the link there.
Here we
First
go.
book staff and members share a passion for changing the lives of children living in poverty, many of whom are African American and live in predominantly African American communities. The murder of George Floyd not proven. He was killed in police custody, or he died in police custody.
After refusing to stay in the cop car and after refusing to be... Oh, I'm sorry. I want to read the narrative. I didn't mean to cancel your...
Murder is a very legal term, and it wasn't really murder. It was more like a manslaughter situation.
Well,
but anyway, whatever.
Either way, we'll find out in court whether what happened or not. But it has not been proven yet. It is the latest of the many acts of violence and indignity against Black Americans. Our nation now roils with unrest over the centuries of abuse, injustice, and inequity against people of color that has led to this critical moment. What affects communities of color affects us all. Black Lives Matter.
They gotta stop saying the color thing.
It comes from a racist hate group. Oh, gotcha. Now I understand the narrative. There was just down the street here in Philadelphia. A knife wielding black guy came right at a couple of cops within enough feet that a deadly lunge could have been made and landed a fatal blow. And that man was shot because he was coming at cops with a knife. But they're out there protesting and rioting. Not protesting, excuse me, wrong word. They're out there burning down and looting in Philadelphia right now because they're trying to say that he should not have been shot. This is the problem. Feelings over facts. From the gate, feelings over facts. A person with a knife in close quarters can take out a person with a gun easily. That's the reason.
Rambo proves that, right?
This is my personal opinion and is not reflective of any other person on this panel or this channel. My personal opinion is this: what these people are doing are trying to excuse bad behaviors. They're trying to say that bad behaviors are okay from this group, but not okay from this group. That is the end result. To stop policing neighborhoods who have high crime, who do not take care of their own, or are trying to, but aren't allowed to by these types of anarchists. That is the real problem. BLM is a racist hate group. They are about division. They are about separating people. They are about the completely disregarding facts. This is why we need a justice system that goes through the facts, that presents the outcome, presents a judgment based on those facts, something we should have been doing since George Floyd, waiting for the judges, the courts to do their job. And instead we have this. That's how I feel on it.
As a community of more than 475,000 educators serving kids in need nationwide, we stand together with our Black members and will continue to call out racism as a reality that affects the lives and futures of children of color. Exactly, Don. Building equitable and inclusive learning equitable, keyword there. An inclusive learning environment is more crucial now than ever, and we stand with you to build that environment brick by brick, book by book. Well,
Equitable.
How are you doing with equitable? How are you?
It's by conditioning, book by book, by conditioning people into believing this gobbledygook nonsense, making sure that your educational institutions are conditioning by teaching misinformation, not facts, not science.
To help guide difficult conversations ahead are trauma toolkits and unconscious bias and educator self-assessment that's been banned by U.S. government are available. I don't know if that one's been banned, but they've banned a lot of the critical race theory stuff. This sounds like critical race theory.
All unconscious bias is I heard something that I don't like from you. That's an unconscious bias.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
Available to download for free. Oh, how nice of them. We want to hear from you if there are other resources. No, I don't want any other resources from you. Thank you.
No, that's it.
So now we know that this is a political organization that supports the violent Marxist organization Black Lives Matter. It is also given some sort of award. It was also given some sort of award from the Clinton Global Initiative.
Oh, I didn't see that coming.
I didn't even know they were still around.
That was legit.
So if you're not purchasing this book, you're funding. So if you are purchasing this book, you're funding these politics, whether you agree with them or not. And none of this should be all that surprising. Author Amy Radcliffe, who's also featured in the book, has already promoted the Minnesota Freedom Fund, which helped pay bail for rioters in Minneapolis so they could return to the city to burn and loot and destroy some more. We've covered that. A lot of celebrities. They did this whole like donate chain where they were donating like $100 or whatever to the Minnesota Freedom Fund, and they were actually getting it was quite funny. They were getting attacked for not donating enough.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. And that was also before people like really kind of knew what the Minnesota Freedom Fund was really doing and had like really kind of like dug in and looked into them, as well as what Black Lives Matter was doing. But what kind of
attention?
Right. Yeah. Well, a lot of people didn't really know. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people didn't know. Like you're saying, feelings over facts. A lot of people were reacting on feelings before they actually were going in and investigating it. A lot of people hadn't seen that video of the Black Lives Matter people marching through. I think it was Minneapolis, and I think they also marched in Texas. I think where they were saying like pigs in a blanket. What was it? Pigs in a blanket, fry like bacon, or something like that. Referring to police officers. That was back in like 2016, and I don't think a lot of people had seen that yet. But what kind of books are they giving kids? That must be a good thing, right? Well, head on over to their marketplace and find out, because according to their website, they're filling kids' heads with worthless social justice propaganda. And I guess here's some Herschel and the Hanukkah Goblins. Sounds terrible.
I'm sorry, that's awful. That is
a whole new ball game. Yeah, learn to play basketball so no one will watch it. Empowering Educators, a series of resources on race and racism. First, Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut.
Don't buy pizza there.
Pizza Hut.
I don't buy pizza there. Are thrilled to present a series of free
Domino's
resources. It is. Or I don't know. We had that Papa John's ad though. That Papa John's ad was pretty good. I am partial to Domino's though. If you're talking about those types of pizza, like the franchise, the really big franchise pizza places, in helping their students engage in effective, courageous conversations about race and social justice. Right there in bold. Created in response to educator needs, the Empowering Educator series resources were, like they pulled it for you, informed by leading anti-bias and anti-racist experts. I wonder if they were saying anti-racist before that became a thing. You're never too young to be politically indoctrinated into divisive race obsession by fringe leftist freaks. That was kind of wanted to cover that because that's the proceeds for this book are going to that organization.
Hail Chewbacca.
And that's what I was saying. They don't care about profit. They don't. It's all about the agenda. And this once again proves that point. The evidence is all there that it doesn't care. That's why you're going to continue seeing. That's why you're even when you're seeing stuff like Ghostbusters 2016 failing, Charlie's Angels Charlie's Angels failing. Like right after the Charlie's Angels like bombed at the box office, they gave the director like a movie right away. Like literally, the movie failed. It bombed horribly, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, we're going to just give you another movie."
Shift the blame. The audience is racist and fail up.
Yeah, exactly. Or misogynist in that case.
Misogynist.
Yeah, misogynist. Well, they're all the same thing, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, so I just wanted to point that out, and you can see all these people. Let's click on.
I'm interested in the Hanukkah goblin. What the hell is that?
Lydia Kang. I've never heard of this.
I think that they're called Jews. I think.
Oh, he's got articles on all of these people. Holy crap!
Well, I mean, that's basically what they're saying. That's what they're saying. You're allowed to be a racist, anti-Semite, sexist if it's the right thing, if it's the right person to hate.
What? She's already written some kind of garbage Star Wars. This is a quote from the book. Really, really, you ought to stop getting into so many life-threatening situations, Luke. You are becoming my most frequently returning patient. He's literally a soldier in the Rebel Alliance fighting a war against the Empire, the Galactic Empire. He's literally a soldier fighting for your freedom, and you're telling him not to get into life-threatening situations. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is it's so stupid.
But have you had sex with your droid?
Like, the doctor is probably this doctor who's saying this has got to be part of the Rebel Alliance too. Like, do they not even believe in the cause? Like, what is going on here?
Dude,
It's so dumb.
I'm pretty sure it's just a joke. I'm pretty sure he's like, huh, you gotta stop getting into these. I'm pretty sure he's not going, you gotta stop doing this. That reads way more like a joke to me than a
okay. All right, so he's not saying go smash a local Starbucks. Gotcha.
You think it reads as a joke?
I think that absolutely reads as like when I used to injure myself a lot when I played sports, and my parents would always go, gosh, again, like, you gotta stop doing that. And that's kind of what I'm reading from this one.
I don't know. One day you might return to me beyond repair, and I should not like that. It sounds like it's a droid saying it.
Yeah, and if it's a droid, then I doubt it. I even more so think it's a joke.
We need context.
Yeah,
yes, context would be good.
A little bit more. I don't know. I don't think these people can write jokes. So, but here, this is which I do wish white people in particular would stay with the discomfort and go deeper.
Wow.
That defensiveness shuts down the conversation.
Right. Yeah. You should be more shameful of who you are.
Great post by Justine Lava Worm on white fragility and writing while white. It's exhausting to smile all the time because you're the representative of all POCs in your very white town.
She represents everybody all across the world who doesn't come from Europe. She represents everyone.
Watching The Fugitive on TV and not surprised by the amount of passes this guy gets purely from white privilege.
Wow.
Okay, maybe I'm gonna take the bell back. This is turning into an Amber Heard situation.
Wasn't The Fugitive? Wasn't he like a doctor?
Yes.
Dr. Richard Kimball. He was in the chat earlier. Remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He knew we were gonna be talking about The Fugitive. I hear writing books for kids is easier than writing books for adults. Me, okay.
No more bell for you.
Face. I'll never forget. Oh, and it was a white woman who wanted to write a POC teen story.
What is this?
Apparently that's a problem.
This woman is a racist.
Like many white kids, I grew up in desperate fear of not being funky enough. Liar, love it quotes.
What the hell?
I don't know. That seems like that. I don't know. That just seems weird.
She needs more crack. You need to get up on Hunter Biden.
But that was just I just picked a random person. So,
well, she wouldn't be the first Asian offered to Hunter Biden.
Nobody? You know where I was going with that, Donald.
Yeah. If you haven't read that, Spencer did a good job on that article. Check it out. So apparently that's a alleged laptop leaker is claiming that. All right, we are at midnight. So I think we're gonna wrap it up. So we'll go around the horn. We'll start with you, Spencer.
Yeah, let's see. It would be John and I put a lot of work into our top 10 horror anime video, so I would definitely recommend checking that out for something spooky for the season. And aside from that, just catch me daily on Bounding Into Comics and on Twitter at KabutoRiderMav.
Sweet.
That
Don?
was tight. That was a tight outro.
Yeah, I need to find something tighter than that. Anyway, so we're going to get my YouTube channel back up and running, and my first thing
All
on the
right.
docket will be bringing back the Therapy Thursdays. And then Friday, I'm going to have a video up, and I'm going to review as much of this as I possibly can. Try to get the sources and try to get all the information down pat I understand it. And yeah, so we're going to get my content back up. Look for my stuff on Bounding Into Comics. I've got a Hugh Jackman story coming up shortly.
Should have a Deadpool story too, right?
And there's the Deadpool. I don't know. I just got my keyboard back and up and running, so it's
Your keyboard?
yeah.
What's your keyboard?
My keyboard just kept typing repeat letters, and it just was pissing me off.
Mhm.
And then one day it just finally conked out. So
Just gave up.
It's
That's
because you weren't being like Pando enough.
I mean,
You needed
or
to-
I was
you needed
Pando
to-
too much,
You needed, to,
Okay.
you needed to give it some WD-40.
or I gave it too much WD-40.
All right, yeah, I'm looking forward to the Wolverine piece. Should be fun. All right, Steven?
Thank you very much, guys, for being here tonight. Thank you to everybody for hitting the like button and sharing out this video. It means a lot to all independent creators. I have a channel. It's called Author Stephen Walton. Do me a favor. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe, like, hit the button. Check out Kai, Space Domino. Check him out. He's an independent writer in the community. And like all independent creators in the community, in our indie sphere, that one share or that one comment or letting someone else know that we have products out really does mean a lot. I have one out right now of an Indiegogo for the Fandom Menace Volume 2. Goes over the year of 2018, all the events that fell down after The Last Jedi. Covers a group of voices who stood up for us, the fandoms, because due to the disrespect, misuse by false creators, taking our modern mythologies, repurposing them, and using them as platforms to espouse division, hate, rhetoric, all the stuff that we hate right now. And if you are a person, independent creator in the community, if you're a writer, please write, do your thing. If you are an artist, draw. There's an entire indie sphere of people out here that are willing to help you and help promote you. This is the campaign for the Phantom Menace Volume 2. 62 backers. 34 days left. I'm almost at my goal. Thank you, all of my backers. Thank you very much. If you could share that, if you do not have the availability or you are not interested in this campaign, if you could share it, that would be a big help. Really appreciate that. Or also, there's a lot of different comic book creators out there, a lot of independent creators that could use some more support. So please pick your favorite one or two, maybe even three YouTubers, independent creators, share out their links, talk about it. We don't have an industry to support us. We only have you and each other, and we rise together. Please check out the Phantom Menace Volume 2. Thank you for coming here to Bounding Into Comics. Please check out their website. I use them on every one of my live streams on Tuesday at 6:30 TR4 and Rogue Entertainment on 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. And support some independent creators, man. Thank you guys very much. I am Author Stephen Walton, the Fandom Menace historian, your historian, born in the chats of the High Council with my brothers and sisters, fighting for our modern mythologies. Wash your hands, wash your ass, be good to each other. Peace.
Thank you very much. We are glad to have you today.
Thanks.
Whatever to my tight outro. Gosh, you just inspired the troops.
I will have a Dune video up tomorrow. There's an Al Jazeera article about Dune, about crusades and jihads and religion in Dune. So I'll be looking at that article and rebutting a number of points that are actually in in the story. I'll give you a little bit of a tease. I won't top that, Mark. But I'll give you a little bit of a tease for that. I was telling Spencer earlier, The article makes no mention of the the Orange Catholic Bible that is pretty prominent in the first Dune book. So that's really interesting that they would omit that. I wonder why. I wonder why that you would admit
They
that.
actually
Maybe you haven't
call it catechism, right?
I think it's the Orange Catholic Bible, is what they call it.
John knows his stuff on both topics, so you know this article is going to get to it.
And
It's
I know
been a
the
while
first-
since I've read the Dune books, but yeah, it's the Orange Catholic Bible.
Okay.
So yeah, they doesn't even talk about that. So I'm pretty excited about it. It's probably going to take me a little bit to work it on because there's a lot of points to dig through. But yeah, look for that tomorrow. That will probably be the video I'll be doing tomorrow. If I don't get that done tomorrow, I will probably work on it Friday. I do want to work on that video. But something else might pop up tomorrow or whatever that I might go with that instead. But I will look for a Dune video by the end of the week.
Fat Beat and Seagal Beat Up Trailblazer asked if John will be wearing nipple tassels during the Dune video.
No, I will not.
Okay.
I leave that to a different science fiction era. That is Deja Thoris. I think I'll leave that.
Yeah.
To you. All right. From
Nice.
John Carter. I think I actually have that here.
That was perfect.
Sorry, John. No nipple tassels. We tried.
I was going to show you guys some. I don't know where that is right now.
Oh,
I
the
thought it was-
John Carter? No,
I
not
thought
John
it was
Carter.
right
Frickin'
here. I'm not seeing it right now though. It might be in my background. It was right here. Yeah, it's here somewhere. Yeah, I was going to show you that awesome Frazetta cover because who doesn't like Frazetta covers? But yeah, so look for that. We got a good story. Spencer's got a story up in draft already. I just got to edit it. So look forward to that. That should be a really good one.
Yeah.
About what's happening. Kind of. I guess it's adjacent to what's going on with Cyberpunk 2077. So look.
But we'll
forward
also
to
have a story tomorrow about what's going on with Cyberpunk.
Yeah, so lots going on that front as well. So we got a lot going on. This was a really I felt like I thought the week was pretty slow for the most part, but then today it's holy crap, there's so much happening and can't keep up. So there's lots to cover. I do think I'm going to cover this Jackie Chan story too, and what else was there that I wanted to look at? I'm kind of rambling now. Oh, yeah, I think I was going to do the Heather Antos thing, but I think we'll just leave it here for the live stream. I'm not going to do that. But there is this Jackie Chan story that I want to cover, so that'll be interesting. And we'll probably have a new pinup as well. So if you have suggestions for pinups, characters that you would be interested in us covering, feel free to let us know. You can just DM me or whatever. I'll take suggestions for that. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. We do this every Wednesday at 9 p.m. We usually run to midnight. And we will see you next Wednesday for Bounding Live. Have a great night.
Take it easy, everyone.
Wash your hands.
Night.